Hello, guys. Welcome to the team's show here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. We're a little bit early. We're starting this one at 5 p.m. instead of 5:30. Such is the excitement for this week. Friday night footy, round 20, Carlton, Port Adelaide. We've got a bit to get through as well. So I thought I'd start half an hour earlier, give us more time to hang out. There's quite a bit on the agenda. This will be a nice long stream. Hope you don't mind. Got a feeling you won't mind. We and the team show is proudly brought to you by Mr. Cabinets. Be sure to check them out if you have any renovations that you're doing at home, particularly in the kitchen. Any sort of work that you need done, make sure you get in touch with them. And we thank them. We thank Derek and Mr. Cabinets for all their support. How are you? Who's here? What is happening? We've got injury news to get through. I've got a statistical breakdown that I'd like to get through with you all. Maybe looking at some narratives around the AFL, particularly, well, I'm just going to listen, it's about Charlie Curnow. The narrative around Charlie. I just want to dive into it a little bit deeper, maybe get some context and maybe help understand the conversation a little bit more. We saw some additional commentary this week from David King about what Charlie needs to do. Everyone seems to know what Charlie needs to do apart from Charlie. So maybe we can break things down. Robbie, hey mate, $10 donation says, I love the team show. I get a bottle of wine and potter around in the garage pretending to be productive. How good's that? Yeah, I think the more we do the team show, the more we've changed the format a little bit. I'm really enjoying it. I like hanging out with you guys as much as possible. A lot of the shows are pretty structured. This is one where we've kind of opened it up a little bit. And so, yeah, appreciate the sentiment and appreciate the donation. Just quickly, who is here? Kobe, Pierre, my latest fave YouTube channel. Thanks, Pierre. Hey, someone yesterday on, I forgot the name, someone yesterday on Reflections had found the channel for the first time. And it got me thinking, like, who of you here? Well, firstly, no, wait, what's the question? The question is, how did you find the channel and when did you find the channel? Because the guy that found it yesterday, it's like, fuck, like, we've already been through a lot together on this. I just assume, I mean, I never assume anything, but now that there's quite a bit of history with this channel, anyone that's joining now, like, you've missed out on so much fun, so much more fun to come. But a lot of the memories and the references that we make in the chat are about things that happened, 2022, 21, 19, before that. So it's got me curious. How'd you find the channel and when did you find the channel? What year was it? Ian, hello, mate. Chills is here. Aiden is at uni. Richard is here. Naomi, hello. Frank, Lou Felino, Sandra, hello. Jason, Sonny, Hyde. Got Alex here. Oh, Binsy's going to get a run today. Got a feeling the conversation will open up. We'll get there. No doubt about that. Dylan's keen for some big changes. Peter V. Adrian Marchioli is on a Mexican cruise via LA, tuned in to the team show on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. It's the best. Like, we genuinely have a global audience for the Carlton Football Club. It's crazy. John Holden, hello, mate. Danielle, I think this will be a very interesting team selection. Yeah. Jay, Jesselly, Tom, can't wait to see this team do what they have done all year so far. Maz, Michael, Matt, Box, Bacon, Jordan, Debbie. I thought King on 360 had some relevant comments around support for Charlie. Yes, so did I. We're going to get into that. I'm going to deep dive into Charlie shortly. Graham, Aiden, you searched up Carlton and found me. Well, that's cool. Johnny Holden, get to hang out this week while I'm off work injured. Oh, what have you done, mate? What's happened? Alex, you found the channel 21, 22 through the Carlton Reddit. Interesting. Recommend the channel to all I talk to. Thank you. Reddit, really? Facebook 2019. Lewis is back in Melbourne, but tired. Look forward to tomorrow. Are you heading to the game tomorrow, Lewis? Jack, fellow Carlton supporter, mentioned it to me a few years ago around 2020. Okay. Found it in 2002 something. I think it was around 2 against the Cats. That was last year, 22. 2021. Wow. I Googled crazy psycho blues fan and your channel came up. There. I found the channel by quickly closing the actual video I was watching when my wife walked in. Danielle, my brother told me about you. So, okay, a lot of word of mouth. Interesting. 2023 club walked in on dad watching pretty early on. Wish it was sooner, but could say it was the perfect time and better than ever. Instagram for Damien. Okay. Trade periods. Interesting. Michael, 2019 when you moved to LA. Insane. Hello, Damien. My son got me on the channel early 2020, COVID time. Yep. Diana from Adelaide. Hello. I think COVID was the making of the fan cams. I think the magic of the fan cams was because initially we had COVID and we were all locked down and we had, a couple of hours after the game to just chat it out. Lou Felino from the start. So like Israel days from the start. That's interesting. Jeff O'Day. Hello, mate. You've been here for a long time. Just watch Bucky's preview. Man needs a cuddle. Mate, we love Bucky. Bucky is Bucky. That is who he is. He's true to himself and he's honest and he's brutal, and that's Bucky. 2019. Does that mean I get a life membership? Wow, 2019. How? Came up on YouTube before lockdown, 2020 preseason. Danielle cooking a lentil curry with the 4 girls. Send my love to them. Gotta love those YouTube algorithms. Brought me to my happy place. Okay, there you go. Kate Wall. Oh, Kate. I don't know if those of you in the chat been following. We've been trying to get the pins to Kate for ages. They've arrived. Kate, I'm glad we got to figure that out. Chills, found or sub to the channel in my feed after watching the 95 replay. Hooked ever since, along with Pom. Amazing. 2022. Just looking for Carlton peeps to chat about the game with. Jeff O'Day. I thought so when I started overseas. 2 followers back then. So my mum and you were the first 2. My mum was the first follower. Yeah, there you go. John, stranger lower back should be good to go Monday. Yeah, mate. Look after that. You came from Big Footy late last year. Interesting. I didn't know. I mean, Big Footy, I've been there a little bit. Reddit, I did not know there was a presence there at all. Someone used to post every BA video in 2021 to Reddit. Okay. Maz, 15 months ago, how many years through the horror run, been here ever since. Wow. 2019 after that Gold Coast review. Okay. From Pommy's channel. Love that. Found you this year. I've been telling all my friends about it. Thank you very much. BT was driving me nuts and I found Pom on the watch along. Yeah. Lucinda, after the Pies match, ran to a man who lives in Thailand, told him all about BA multiple times. By the end, he was asking for the channel name to be sure he remembered. Okay. 22 against the Dogs. Okay. 2019, when you were looking for Blues fan channels, needed some other fan interaction as you live in Japan. Incredible. Jay Baggers, can't remember, but I knew before you did know me before you met me. We met. Guys, remember the story? After Collingwood beat us in 2022 and I was hugging the little boy and his dad. That was J Baggers. There you go. Fan cams, the best show segment on the channel. I think the fan cams is amazing. Teams, what do I enjoy the most? Well, fan cams, obviously. I think this year more than any year, I've enjoyed the team show more than anything else. And ratings. Ratings when I want to get nerdy and I want to learn. I feel like I'm at school, but the teams I'm enjoying because we get to know each other a little bit more. Anyway, thanks for that. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool to know where you came from and how you got here. Main thing is you're here now. Now, a few things. So many things to get through. Teams are going to come out at 6:20. I wanted to have a look at a few items in the agenda. We're going to get through Voss's presser. I haven't watched it yet in full. I started it and then again realized just wait until we get it up here. But something I noted on Twitter, I saw Carlton Blues fans posted a number of stats around the centre bounce attendances last week. I thought this was interesting reading. So against North, Cripps had 29, no real shock there. TDK and Hewitt had 26. So thinking about Pitto, I'm assuming he's going to come in tonight. He'll just replace TDK. Hewitt, good to see him back there where he does his best work. Walsh had 23, which I thought was interesting because we saw him in the rating show play a lot more on the wing, especially with his heat maps. Jack Carroll, 15. Harry McKay, 7, which makes sense when he pinch hits. Elijah and Kennedy, 3. Interesting to see Chera didn't go to a single centre bounce at all. And I wonder if that was by design. And I wonder if they want to get him a few more rotations on the ball. But I saw that today and I thought that was an interesting bit there. The other interesting bit was the statement around Harry McKay. So the club has been given a couple of clubs have been given a reprimand today. So this is in relation to the Harry McKay situation. And it reads like this. This is from the AFL. Having considered Carlton's submissions in relation to the management of Harry McKay on Sunday afternoon, the AFL has determined that the club was in breach of the AFL concussion protocols, but having considered the circumstances explained by Carlton, the AFL have issued Carlton an official reprimand only. So I guess that's like a non-financial slap on the wrist, just a little, don't do that again. Hey, Chills. Enjoying the channel as a whole, Tez. Keep it up. Thanks, mate. 5-month member. So this is the explanation. At the time of the incident involving McKay, one Carlton doctor was in the rooms dealing with Blake Acres' injury, and the other Carlton doctor was on the bench dealing with Sam Durden's injury. Due to those other commitments, both of Carlton's doctors did not observe the incident involving McKay live and were delayed in reviewing the ARC message. What's the ARC message? I think that might have been a message to whatever, our doctors to get to McKay. So, and the vision. Please note that the ARC medical spotters did issue a mandatory off-field assessment, including the SCAT-6 test notification to Carlton in relation to the third quarter incident with McKay. Once the message was reviewed by Carlton's doctors, there was a further short delay in the review of vision of the incident before Carlton's doctors promptly instructed other staff to remove McKay from the field, which was effected a short time later. Whilst the club was in breach of protocols on account of the short delays in removing McKay from the field, the AFL acknowledges the club's explanation on account of Carlton's doctors dealing with multiple pre-existing and concurrent injuries. Okay. There you go. So they're basically saying there was a breach, but we understand why, because you had two players being looked at by two different doctors. So there you go. In summary, nothing happened. Like literally, in summary, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. No punishment. The rule is where there's a head clash, you need to have a club official or a doctor go to the player and at least check on him within 8 minutes. And the delays where I think this mini issue came from. But obviously because Blake was in the rooms. Sam Durden was, I don't know if he was in the rooms, but he was being attended to. That would explain why there was a delay. So now on Footy Abroad, there was a really interesting fan that called in. He called in from New Zealand. Wait, where did he call in from? Might have been New Zealand. And he made reference to, in rugby union over there, they use these mouth guards on all the players. And when you get hit in the head and it goes to a certain level, it has some sort of technology in the mouth guard which registers a level. And if the hit goes to a certain level, it's an immediate send off or it's an immediate stop of play. So there was that. And then the conversation expanded into we talk about independent doctors on the field or on the bench making the call. Why don't we stop the game where there's a head knock? Like immediately, just stop the game. That might be putting a bit too much pressure on the umpires on the field. But I feel like this whole situation can be avoided where you rely on doctors on the bench to go out to a player within 8 minutes, for example. Couldn't we avoid all of this if the field umpires see a head clash and just stop play where it looks like there's an injury? Sometimes there's a little bit of a head clash, but it's okay. Both players get up straight away, run, and play continues. But Harry was down for about 20, 30 seconds, or he was a little down for a little while. So what do you think about that? Should we just stop? Should we just stop play for every head clash? Because happens in football, world football, soccer. It happens, I guess, in most sports. So what do you think about just stopping play when you see a head knock, or where there is a head knock, the umpire just blows the whistle and stops play until we're sure that there isn't an injury, and if there is an injury and if there is a concussion, well, they've got to come off anyway. Maybe they need to stretch it off, etc. So yeah, I want to get your thoughts on that. The umpires at the time, yeah, exactly right. Kind of like a blood rule. Yeah, exactly right. Run it the same as the blood rule. When play stops, get the player off. Feel like the rule could be exploited. It's happened in rugby all the time. So the thing is, it's the decisions made by the umpire who is impartial, as opposed to individual club doctors. So Carlton might have wanted, let's just say they wanted to delay getting out to Harry because the ball was in our forward line and he ends up kicking a goal. But in this case, that wasn't it because they were looking at other players. The AFL should worry about trying to silence Tom Green for speaking the truth, which is leading to lingering tackles. Interesting. I don't know if you're the AFL, do you want your players talking about the league like that? I think it's more about the media influencing public perception, personally. But yeah. Point you made, you mean like just the send-off? I wish it was my point. It was a point that was raised on Tuesday. I won't take credit, but I thought it was brilliant. No, in the AFL, they're busy throwing money at Katy Perry and giving priority to the rest of the AFL programs, such as improving ARC technology and looking into the umpiring situation. Naomi, looked like a head-on-head clash. Then why wasn't the North Melbourne also reprimanded for not checking their player? Yeah, hang on. There were a number of clubs. Hang on a minute. There were a number of clubs. So Adelaide got one for the Jordan Dawson incident. Brisbane got one for the Harris Andrews incident. Or they haven't updated it yet. It's not finished. I don't see North Melbourne here. Remind me, what was the North Melbourne one? Like a blood rule could be done easily. My only thing with putting it in the field umpire's hands is that they're already seemingly under pressure with the game and so many elements of the game. It's a hard game to adjudicate. So I understand adding this level of responsibility onto what they already have might be a bit much. So in that case, maybe it's just an independent doctor who sits, I don't know, in a box somewhere or in the ARC room or on the bench. And as soon as they see a head knock, they get on to the umpire and say, stop the game. Umpire blows the whistle, ball up from wherever it is. or the next stoppage, depending on what happens, and then you get the player off. Soccer players kick the ball out of the game to stop the game. That's true. You're okay with stopping play, but only at the next stoppage. Can't stop it if play is continuous. Fair. Unless the ball comes near the player, and then obviously you would stop it. Players could exploit it like they do in soccer. Stall the game to change the players off the interchange. As long as the doctors are paid by the AFL, they're going to do what's best for the team, not necessarily what's best for the player. The umpire has an earpiece. Surely the AFL doctor can get a message out to stop play. I mean, well, this is what I think the suggestion is, to have that message in the earpiece from an independent doctor or umpire, or even just the umpires in the arc. Yeah. Oppo players will dob in plays. Well, if there's a head knock and the player is down and they stay down for 5 to 6 seconds or more, then they've got to come off anyway. So it's not about the situation where there's a brief head knock and they both get up straight away and they keep going. It's more around, in Harry's case, he gets hit, he goes down, he's clearly down for, I can't remember how long it was, maybe 10 seconds. Like, he was clearly down and not getting up straight away. So it's more about in that scenario. A designated concussion doctor. Grant, why is it not a 50-meter penalty when the ball is marked within 20 meters of goal as players all congregate? Why is it not a 50-meter penalty when the ball is marked within 20 meters of goal as players all congregate around the player and mark? This happens at least 6 times a game. Interesting. Oppo players won't dob each other in. They don't do it now for blood. Well, in this case, it wouldn't benefit them to dob the player in because their opposition has one less player because he's down because of the head knock. It's more around the umpire. It's another way the AFL makes clubs pay for what they should be. How so? It's another way the AFL makes clubs pay for what they should be. I'm not following. All right. Good chat. Let's have a look at... firstly, I wanted to say a big thank you to those of you who ordered from the BA shop the other night. Melanie, Grant, Lynette, Ian, Julie, Lana, Stephen, Wayne, Danny, and Lachlan. Thank you very much. Your orders are all on the way. Melanie, yours is still waiting. We're going to take a look at the press conference. In the meantime, if you want to take a look at the BA shop, the link to it is pinned in the live chat. So in the meantime, I'm going to get up the press conference from Vossy, and we will go and take a look and see what he had to say, and then we'll unpack it. So this was from this morning. Okay. Let's do it. If I need to pause it because of the questions that you can't hear, then I will. Disveja, where do you place your pins? You put them on your scarf. Like this. Like that. All right.
Michael, Tom McKay, pretty unfortunate Sunday night here. How's he pulled up, obviously?
Asking about Tom de Koning.
Faring okay. Obviously, what he needs to get, the procedures he had to have over the course of the last few days have been had, and he's settling well. So it sounds like all that went well, and he's still in hospital currently, but expecting him to be out in the next day or two.
Does that mean Mark Fitnet
gets a fair crack at the side now for the next few
Yeah, I
weeks.
reckon you can probably take an obvious guess on that one. So fairly safe to say that I can confirm that selection today. So no, he's been himself been in very, very good form. So having the luxury of being able to probably have two rucks and very two competent ruckmen is something that's been a real strength of ours throughout this year. So Pito's turn. So he'll step up for us.
How tough will it be when Tom's fit to play, hopefully the first week of finals, to make that selection call?
Question was, how tough will it be to make the selection call when Tom's ready?
Oh, I'd love to be able to drift there, but it's hard to because the reality is that we tend to focus on what needs to get the job done for tomorrow night, and so we sort of become all eyes in on that one. And what we want Tom clearly is to have a big say towards the end of the year, but right now, we've got a pretty good opposition, and Tom's resting comfortably, and Pito's got a job to do, and he'll step up and get the job done for us.
Good news for Blake Acres with those scans. Would you risk him off the 5-day break?
Questions around Blake Acres. The scan came through positive, but do you risk him?
No, he won't play. So he's tried to get him going yesterday, and a bit slower than we'd like. So I think just based with that 5-day turnaround, it's probably worth him not playing. Someone will have to step up into that role.
Zach Williams as well, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys where obviously would
He asked for. Did you say Williams? Wait.
not playing. Someone will have to step up into that role.
Zach Williams as well, unfortunately.
So I thought it was pretty clear that Zach Williams was out for 3 to 4 weeks. So that's an interesting question.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys where obviously would like to have out there, but again, he's in that 3 or 4 week mark. Sort of haven't really got the specific actual round, but now it's been a couple of weeks, so he's already sort of starting to move around. So we expect him to be available in the next couple of weeks. So look, I think we sort of appreciate that there's somewhat as an adulation of availability from time to time, and you're going to have guys coming in and out of the team. And I think you've stood here many times where I've talked about sort of having the next player be able to come in and get a role done. And despite a couple of those, we've actually been reasonably settled over the last little while. We've been able to reward some VFL form. The squad's been in some pretty good form, and that's a healthy position to be in. But obviously, we'd like to avoid to be able to get anyone injured, but it does happen.
Has the club spoken to the AFL yet this week about the handling of Harry McKay's head knock?
Yeah,
Oh, this is the Harry McKay head knock question. By the way, we're 3 minutes in and not a question about this game coming up yet.
have certainly been asked to put sort of a series of events together in the way that we saw it. We've been able to do that, and they're comfortable with where that lies, and so we move on. So no, we're comfortable. We followed the protocols that we needed to, and so we obviously took the time this week to put that forward, and we're comfortable with where that sits.
And the Doctors Association and Players Association both now come out and said they'd like players removed from the field so they can be assessed without the pressure of the on-field environment. Do you support that?
The Doctors Association have come out and said that they support players coming off the field so they can be assessed outside of the sporting environment. And the question is, do you support that?
Yeah, I think that's how we understand it to be. And it's just making sure that we obviously can still go step through the right process at the same time. So there's obviously how it's assessed upstairs, the information that's flowing downstairs, then how we assess it, how we get the players off. So there is a lag sometimes between that, and we're forever asking the question, how do we shorten that and how do we make that better? Because as you can appreciate, that our main priority is the health of the player in any circumstance. That is the priority over anything. So that still remains our priority, and I certainly know it remains our medical team's high priority as well.
4 minutes and 9 seconds in. Not a question about the game yet.
Can I just confirm, so the AFL ticked it off? The AFL said it was all.
So just confirming the AFL ticked it off.
Well, has that been ticked off? That one's actually, well, we're waiting to hear back. Not officially. Yeah, so we've put our position forward. I guess we'll wait to hear back from the AFL.
So
4 minutes and 21 seconds. Not a question about the game yet.
in that situation, say if the umpire has the power to go, all right, let's stop the game and get him off the field. Does that help in a situation where like your doctor's
Does it help if the umpire has the power to stop the game?
busy with another player and weren't necessarily able to pick that up?
Possibly. I think that might be something that they look at the end of the year about how they can manage that. And there's been different circumstances throughout the year where I think I might remember a Fremantle game where that was, the doctor came over to try and assess on the fly. So I think there's some things that as we are learning about rotations and, when we can sub and when we can't and who's available, it's a really important subject to sort of put on the table. So, I was really strong on my position around the tackling and how long we give players with the ball because, we're not just protecting the player, we're also avoiding suspension for the tackler. So it creates a safer environment for us. But look, the one thing I do know is this will never be perfect. It's going to have a degree of time lag within it. But if we can certainly tighten up the parameters around that and what we can and can't do and where the powers are, whether that's an umpire, whether that's the doctor, I think that's sort of something that we can discuss more at the end of the year.
5 minutes and 33 seconds. Not one question yet about the game.
Has Harry done everything he's needed to do this week?
Yeah.
Has Harry done everything he's needed to do this week? All right, we're getting there.
He's been good. Again, it's doesn't mean the process shouldn't be run, but he was pretty good fairly early. So we're pretty confident that he's going to be able to find his way back in. But we always wait 24 hours to be able to find out where that lies, and he's passed all the tests since.
How have you gone about managing the week? Obviously, 5-day break is pretty uncommon this late in the season. You deal with it early in the season, but yeah.
The question is, how have you gone about managing the week? I just want to give a trumpet just because it's the first question and I think is a really good one about the week.
Pretty short turnaround.
Yeah, it is towards the back end of the year. But I think, look, it's also an opportunity for us to be able to play a Friday night game. And so we understand that the draw doesn't always line up exactly how you
Sorry, I just wanted to note 6 minutes before we heard about the game this week.
want it. But what we do look forward to is playing in really big games and, playing Friday night in front of our fans. And that's something that, as a football club, I think we've really braced over the last 2 or 3 years. And so if that provides us another opportunity to be able to do that in a really important game, then we'll put our hand up for it. But we're fortunate because we did have a bit of a cider early in the year, funny enough, against the same opposition. So we'll probably run pretty much the same sort of process at the back end of the game. As we do know, we had a few little tricky spots last week against North that we had to manage. So we think we've done that okay, and the boys will be ready to go.
Is there still anything you can tap into from your time at Port, or is it long gone?
Nah, it's
Is there anything you can tap into from your time at Port?
too far gone now. It's 3 years. If you look at list turnover nowadays alone, it's pretty significant, let alone game style and what they emphasise over another. I mean, you might know a couple of individuals, but even those are getting a little bit older. And when you talk about some of the young talent that was there and some of their midfield of what they got there, so they've got some genuine strengths that they bring to the table. And what I'm sort of probably focused on is clearly they've got some things we need to take off them and minimise, but we've really got to get after us and make sure we get us right.
You spoke about rewarding AFL. Well, not many more impressive performances at state level than Jackson Binns last
Asking about Jackson Binns. Great question.
week. So you get a chance this week.
Yeah, well, I think it's for Binsy. I mean, that's the great thing about our form is that we've had a lot of players that have been in some really good form over the last couple of weeks. So continue to encourage that. I think his last 2 weeks have been particularly impressive, as have a few others. So we'll balance that up against who's in there and the current roles we're asking players to do. So we'll always balance that up. But I'll declare Pitto and Blake not playing, but I won't declare too many others at this point in time.
So just Adam Terra obviously played fully going half back last week. You're looking at trying to reintegrate him into that midfield group, or are you happy with where things are at the moment?
Questions about Adam Chera. Are you looking to reintegrate him into the midfield group, or are you going to keep him in the halfback?
We thought what he did was pretty positive. To be able to have sort of something that's a bit different that we can go to. I mean, throughout the game, as you saw last week, we had to call on a couple of guys to be able to shift positions. Matty Kenny went from full forward to full back in 20 minutes over the halftime break. So his adjustment was really important to us. It gave us a different look forward to the ball. And we had to sort of tweak a few things to get the game a little bit more back on our terms. So we'll continue to encourage that. That's not something necessarily we're sort of sitting here and saying that we're playing to the end of the year, but if we can go to it, we feel like it's going to be pretty useful. But yeah, looking at that back six, that back seven, and just how cohesive they've been over the last period of time. We had a couple of absentees over a couple of weeks, but largely it's been fairly settled. So we continue to encourage that.
Katie Perry, grand final entertainment. You got a favorite Katie song?
No, I don't. Raw? Is that one?
Yeah, Raw.
Yeah, well, there you go. We'll go with Raw. So that's the first one I could think of. So
What's your normal sort of go-to artist? Who's your dream artist for the grand
this is a really strange sort of conversation where we're talking about.
final?
Mate,
We should have it off mic, but we'll have it on mic. That's all right.
could be anyone other than Robbie. Do you want me to say
Yeah.
anyone? All right, so this has to be an obvious one, surely. Robbie, if you're listening and watching, mate, it's you, mate. Okay. Right. No worries. Cheers.
Okay. What did we take away from that? I thought he livened up once we started getting to the game and this week, personally. But what did you all take away from that? We're the only team this year that's played the last game of the round and then the first game of the next round. Pitto is playing, Akers is not. Yep. Pointless presser. Surely we could go to those press conferences and ask those questions. Like, surely. Oh, there's no relevant questions. To be fair, I did like the questions around Bins, Chera, preparing for, with the 5-day break. I mean, those are the ones that I kind of want to hear about. Yeah, I thought so too. Do we think Bins will come in for Akers, or do we think there'll be a reshuffle? There's a few sides to this. So, are you looking, if you're the coaching staff, if you're the selection committee? I mean, we all want to see Bins play, but let's be honest. Is Bins going to be playing in finals? If the answer is no, then why would you bring him in? On the flip side, what if you need to bring him in and you have an opportunity now to bring him in to get some games under his belt, get some experience? I feel like the most important priority right now is settling the side and trying to figure out, with all these things that we're testing, what the side is going to look like at the pointy end, at the very end, final series. So, I don't know. I want to see Bins because I want to see Bins play in the AFL. But I don't know if I want to see Bins just because we want to see him play games. I don't think he's going to be ready in the final series, personally. The established AFL media wouldn't like independent media being there. Well, too bad. Too bad. It'll happen. We'll get there. Inshallah. It's obviously fairly easy to get media accreditation. Refer to the first 5 minutes of that press of how easy it is. Well, it's actually extremely difficult. The issue is these certain media outlets get them, the mainstream ones, the SENs, the Fox Footies, and whatnot. Now, as long as you're working for one of those companies and you're available to go to these presses, you can go. You got to get selected to go. I don't know what the selection process is for who gets to actually go to presses, but they are essentially representatives from the media outlets. So the media outlets get them. The people that work for the media outlets get to go. I think we do this press conference every week and we watch it and we pick out at least 3 or 4 questions which just have absolutely nothing to do with anything relevant, personally. Maybe there should be a separate presser for the fans, because that is about 30%. I think I absorbed about 30% of that and took something away from it. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not just for the fans, that presser. Too important of a game to have him properly debut. Probably not reshuffle. Chera to Akers wing. Most likely a reshuffle. Cottrell on the wing. I think I'm with you on that. I think Cottrell would step into Acres' role, personally. Daniel. Oh, yeah, this is a good question because this has been doing the rounds. If the club's doing a mini pre-season or conditioning block, I don't think they would have done much training this week at all. They had the Monday off. They reviewed Tuesday. Like, what type of intense training could you possibly do on Wednesday? They had the session. When did Blake Acres not get through? That was today. So can't imagine they're doing a super hard session day before a game. Not sure on Binns playing. Walsh to the wing. Well, he had quite some time on the wing last week. So I don't mind it. I would like to see Kennedy a little bit more on the ball. Jack Carroll got a good chunk of it in the centre last week. So I guess there's that. Shocking presser. May as well have had Sam McClure and Mark Robinson ask all the questions. If Binns doesn't come in, I'm taking names. Just give him a game and get him the experience if we need him. Well, yeah, this is the balance. So we're talking about finals now. I don't know. It's a very important game tomorrow. Like, very, very important game. So I don't know if sentiment is as important as winning the game is. But we didn't find out the Voss you had for breakfast or whether there is a scruncher or a folder. Not giving much away. Maybe this is why it's good to have those journos there. Maybe the whole point of these presses is to not give anything away. And the more obscure the questions, the better it is. Maybe that's where our minds need to go to. Maybe we want questions that have nothing to do with anything because then we're not giving away anything. I have a question. Would you be interested in watching the Port Adelaide presser or the opposition coach's presser in general before a game to see if we can pick up on certain things? If so, I might put a poll up on YouTube and see if we can maybe pick up something. Because I know with Ken Hinkley in particular, generally I haven't watched a presser of his in a long time. He's very straightforward. So should we watch the Port pre-game presser? I'm going to do a poll. I'll leave it there for like a few minutes. So if you're watching, vote in the poll, and then we can either watch the Port Adelaide presser and see if we can find some information, or we can not. Need Paul there. Absolutely. He was there. He was there last week, wasn't he? Yeah. I've asked. I'm not viewed as media. That's the reality. Not yet. I think Blue Abroad is still in that weird spot where can't get AFL media accreditation from the AFL because YouTube channels, and this one in particular, is not seen as media. I believe what we do is journalism, personally. I believe this is modern day journalism. And yeah, so from the club's point of view, I need AFL media accreditation. From the AFL's point of view, I don't hit the parameters to classify as media, which I think's incorrect. And I think it will change. You know, when you're the older sibling and the rules apply to you more harsh than your younger siblings, I feel like this is the situation it's going to be. And in 10 years' time, fan channels that have developed to a certain level will get AFL media accreditation. And I'll look back and I'll say, I ran so you kids, I walked so you kids could run. It is what it is. But that's the answer. Did you ever try for a mainstream media role? No, I didn't. I never tried for a mainstream media role. I did some random commentary when LeBron James. So when I lived in Israel in 2017, 18, 19, I did some commentary for a global network there, and they got me in as a correspondent while their sports correspondent was away. So I did a little bit there, but honestly, not really. I like this. I like YouTube independent. Wouldn't say no, but I think now I'm enjoying this. Let's look at the presser. So, you want to watch the Port presser? So there's 80% of you have voted yes from 94 votes. All right, let's do it. Let's watch the Port Adelaide presser. Goes for 9 minutes. All right. Oh, great. 1 minute. Thoughts on Katy Perry? Yeah. Sure. I don't mind. Teams come out at 20 past 6. Yeah, 6:20. I would forego going to presses. I would love to sit down and have a one-on-one with Vossy. That's what I would like to do. If I applied for a mainstream media outlet and got a job, I would have to probably give up BA. Yeah, that's the sacrifice. I ain't doing that yet. I don't think I'm doing that. Okay, let's take a listen. So this is the first time we're doing this. We're going to watch Ken Hinkley's presser from today. Take mental notes and let's see what we can understand.
No, we can't. We can't pick Todd. Nearly ready. He'll definitely play next week.
That's Todd Marshall.
All things being equal, but with the short breaks, we've just run out of time a little bit.
Combination there, can you also do Lord and Dixon after what you saw last week?
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Yeah,
Asking about Ollie Lord. I think because I'm watching it here, I can do captions. No. No captions. Sorry.
No, we can't. We can't pick Todd. Nearly ready. He'll definitely play next week. All things being equal, but with the short breaks, we've just run out of time a little bit.
Combination there, can you also do Lord and Dixon after what you saw last week?
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope we can do certain things, but we've got to get through training. Obviously, selections are not until tonight, so make sure we've got a couple of players that are coming back. So without talking about all the selection ups and downs, we've just got to get through today and see where they're at.
One of those
Without going through them all, how do you want me to stop? Yeah, but you're going to keep asking about every one of them, and I'm going to tell you the whole lot. Then I'm not going to go that spot. So.
You see Carlton, obviously they've lost their mobile ruckman.
Asking about Tom de Koning.
Yeah, they're a great side. They're sitting second on the ladder. We're going to play them at home. It's going to be a great challenge for us, but one we're up for, one that we're capable of getting done. But we're going to have to be playing at our absolute best. And they've got a really strong side.
Having De Koning out, does that change their dynamic in the middle?
Having de Koning out.
They've got another good ruckman to bring in, pitting that, so they don't probably lose too much. Am I glad or not glad that de Koning's not playing? I'm not sure. Ask me after the game.
What learnings from that last game, particularly that last quarter?
Learnings from the last game against Richmond.
What do you deal with many weeks later?
Oh, sorry, against Carlton.
For 3 quarters, a pretty even game. That's what we look at, and we go, there's a reflection of we're capable of being right with Carlton and potentially beating Carlton. We played a really poor last quarter around stoppage, and they dominated us. And Cripps went to work, and he's done that a fair few times this year. So our challenge is to try and make sure that we keep the game closer to our terms for 4 quarters, not just for 3.
So do we assume you've already told Willem Drew that's your job for this game?
Willem Drew.
We shouldn't assume anything this will.
Will he play on Cripps?
Is it fair to say what you asked your midfield group at halftime on Saturday is the key to stopping another Carlton domination?
I think it's. I think from any team, the key to your midfield group is at least giving you a small advantage, and you can't go breaking even with a Carlton because they're probably a little bit too much power around the ball. So our midfield group, like every team, is really important to our success. And if they can play well, that will go a long way towards us winning this game.
It's interesting because our midfield's not in form.
Our mids, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. I don't think we've, our results would say we're like a lot of teams. We haven't been perfect, not just our midfield, but we've given ourselves a chance in most games.
Jason said yesterday that it's not part of the best defensive midfield going around, but their own admission.
Maybe that's Jason.
Is that the challenge when you've got so many defensive stars in there to get that back?
No, it's not a challenge. No, it's not a challenge. They accept that they have a responsibility to run both ways, and we expect that's what they do. And it wasn't purely around defensive stuff. There's plenty of opportunities for them last week to be a bit better at what we were doing. And what I loved about them is that they all knew that, and they accepted that challenge and they took it on.
How's Charlie Dixon?
I hope he hasn't had a big night out, but he has had the ability to have a big night out in the past, I think. But no, he's pulled up pretty well. Yeah, he's in good shape. He's in good spirits. He's obviously got some confidence back, which is really good for us. I mean, really important to us too. I mean, he's such a vocal point for us still, and the team knows that he's going to bring great effort.
How are you going to save Zach Butters from going broke?
How do you stop Zach Butters from going broke?
Probably Zach's going to save Zach Butters from going broke.
You had to have a chat to him about
Well, I'm running out of words. Zach knows what he's got to do. He's competitive. He's a really competitive little bugger. So I love that about him. He knows that and he's working really, really hard at this. So I think he was without saying right or wrong, I think he was a touch stiff this week with what went on, but maybe that's a result of what's been going on. So.
Is it hard not to argue that he's been targeted now, particularly with...
Is it hard to not argue that it's been targeted?
It's the AFL, because I'm not going to enter into that conversation.
It's sort of semi-rare that players can test those types of things. So is that an indication though that maybe as a club you just feel like it's getting a little bit silly?
Wow, they look borderline. That's what they looked. I mean, but the AFL make the rules, so Zach has to live by those rules.
Do you hear the outside noise coming out of Perth during the week?
Do you hear the noise coming out of Perth?
We've got a big job. We've got 5 games in our season, hopefully, and more to play. And it's really clear about one thing is that I'm coaching Port Adelaide, and I love coaching Port Adelaide and have a contract to continue to coach Port Adelaide.
Is it frustrating hearing that though?
Is it frustrating hearing the noise?
Not at all, because I'm so used to it. Everyone's so used to it in the competition. It's like there has to be a story and there has to be someone that they talk around. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of other people that's been mentioned. Unfortunately, I get mentioned lots of times on different things.
Is it hard not to think about, you've been preparing for a whole team and it's gone for 12 years, but is it hard to not think about what the next month or 5 weeks might mean for you personally?
Is it hard not to think about what the next 5 weeks might mean to him?
Clear thing that I have to do, and that is to give the team the best chance and our coaching group the best chance to make sure we maximise this season. We're in a really strong position right now if we can make the next 5 weeks count. It gives ourselves a great chance. Some of the stories might change quickly.
This is again one of those games where talked about Port Adelaide and where it stands against those top 4.
Every time.
So again, what's it going to tell about your side this Friday night game? Big stage, Friday night, etc.
Gives us a chance. Just gives us a chance to improve our position in this season. That's all it does. It doesn't guarantee the week after or the week after. I mean, we surely are all used to seeing the results go up and down all over the place. If you look at I think if you take notice of the ladder, we've beaten some sides around us. We've lost some sides around us. We haven't played them all. So competition's so even. If we try to draw too much into one game about any team, you're probably going to get parts of it wrong. We beat Bulldogs 2 weeks ago or something. Everyone's talking of Bulldogs as a really strong team, which they are when they play at their best, which we can be if we play at our best.
But has to do with that measure that even you put up a few weeks ago. It's about whether you do measure up with the best.
Whether you do measure up to the
End
best.
of the year will tell you. That's what I always say. I wait till the end of the season and see where we sit, and that'll give you an indication as to whether we're capable of being with the very best teams in the competition.
Why do you think so even? Teams
It's meant to be.
Why do you think it's
Meant
so
to be.
even?
That's what it's meant to be. The competition's meant to be really, really even. The AFL do everything they can to have a really even competition, to give every team a chance at the start of every season to believe for their supporters that they can win this competition. there is a 6% chance that you can win it at the start of the season, but everyone needs that 6%. And that's why it's so even. It's set out to be made even, and it has achieved a very even competition so far. So I'd suggest the AFL are pretty happy.
Where do you stand on bringing or naming a player who comes out of protocols on the day of the game?
I just stand with the rules. You're allowed to. You do what you got to do.
Where do you
So
stand naming a player that's
that's
come out of
okay.
protocols?
As a server Radaglia dealt with probably your feedback and even the external feedback about his decision.
How does Radaglia deal with the external feedback?
Perfection is hard to achieve. And he doesn't, he knows that he's working really hard. He's learning lots as he goes. But perfection for any player is really hard to achieve, particularly the mistakes sometimes stand out when you're in the last line of defence. He's doing a really good job. He's working really hard to get better. No, I don't think so. I think he knows that he'd prefer not to make some mistakes. But if we just talk about one player's mistakes and we don't critically look at the whole group, you'll find everyone makes plenty of mistakes in AFL footy field.
You a Katy Perry fan?
Who?
Katy Perry is
Are you a Katy Perry fan?
No. I don't know. You've got to probably go back to Neil Diamond for me, I reckon. Sorry, Katy Perry, I don't know. All good?
Can I ask just one question about Willem Drew? His 100 this week. Can you just say what-
Willem Drew's 100th game.
He's a really, really difficult player to summarise. He's such a team first player. He does everything. He would be, I think he'd be very, very close to our most popular teammate. And there's a lot to be said about being that person. If you're recognised as that person in your group, you should be really, really proud. Drew is an amazing player for us. Playing his 100th game is a great effort with what he's gone through at the start. Couldn't be more proud. He's not only the playing group's favourites, but he's the coaching group's favourite as well. So we love him.
Does he know more about Walsh or more about Cripps?
He knows a lot about Chera, Hollands, Sard. He knows a lot about Carlton.
Interesting that towards the very end. See, just the very end, you get a bit there. Okay. What did you think of that? I think Ken Hinkley personally is one of, if not the best, most direct communicators in press conferences that I've ever seen. I mean, he's so experienced, no bullshit, says it how it is, just up and down. I liked his answer where they asked him about, what does this game mean for where you stack up? And he's like, we'll just wait until the end of the season. I've been saying that for all year. Just wait to draw conclusions. So it was really good to have that sentiment reiterated. But I think that was really interesting and didn't know it was Willem Drew's 100th. And now the question is, who's he going to go to? So he's played on Sard before. He's played on Chera before. He must have played on Elijah or he must know Elijah. But I guess the question is, are they going to put him on Cripps, Walsh? But yeah, what did you make of that? You thought he looked nervous? The last question was around Willem Drew. And it was, how well does Willem Drew know Sam Walsh or Patrick Cripps? And then he answered, he actually knows more about Chera and Sard. So you thought a few of you are saying this. He looked nervous. I think this is going to be a very close game, personally. I think Port are in a very similar position to what the Doggies were and what GWS were. The difference being they are in the 8 right now as we start the round. They're 7th with 40. They're one game behind us and they're 7th. So had a lot of respect for us to name Drew to Newman. Interesting. Oh man, if they sack Ken Hinkley, it'd be great to get him involved in the coaching fraternity. Port will come firing. Hinkley's no mug. He's got tricks. Yeah, very experienced player. Ken's going west. Hello, Eagles. I thought it was interesting how he paid our midfield a lot of respect. I personally would say our midfield is the area of the ground right now in the last few weeks that is letting us down and he's leaking the most. So that was an interesting part there. He's probably not going to come out and say, oh, the midfield's out of form, and they would prepare for our midfield as if we're going to be at our best. But I would personally say, I don't know if you agree with this or not, that our midfield is the one that's out of form. Sounds like Drew was a Baggers fan growing up. Found that fascinating. Always good to know what the other side is thinking. Yeah, I think we should do that every week. We should listen to the opposition coach's presser in the team show. I think we can add that in. Let me end this poll. How everyone is jumping off Carlton right now, including some of our content creators. Disappointing. Who's jumping off? I think there's a bit of fear. We're not at our best. And I think there's just, whenever we dip in form, there's just a little bit of fear that we're going to throw it away. We're getting to that point again now. I think we're going okay. We're not going great. I think we're going okay. We're definitely not at our best. I feel Georgiades is going to have a big say in the outcome. Well, Charlie Dixon has found some form and some continuity as well. So he is a problem potentially for us. What else have we got? Ken's not a prime coach. He's a rebuild coach. That's interesting. Danger game. Albert, aren't they all danger games? Isn't every single game a danger game? My Blue Heaven jumps off. No, I don't think he jumps off. I think he's just seen a lot of footy. And he's seen a lot of footy. And he's a lot more experienced in this game than a lot of us. I think people do have a different way to support. I'm more glass half full because I just have that. No, I just don't want to look at what's wrong. Not ignore what's wrong, but I want to find what's right and build off that personally. But we all do it differently and we all enjoy it differently. So I don't think anyone wants us to lose. Actually, in fact, I guarantee no one wants us to lose. Like I have a bit of fear around tomorrow night. I think Port can beat us. My fear really more stems from if we lose, because we might. I accept that. I'm not angry at the thought that we might lose. I get more concerned around the reaction if we lose, personally. Because I think we just need to keep it as stable as possible. Cody Walker, All-Australian, 16s captain. I saw that. It's huge. Matt, you think we look cooked? Effort and skills have dropped off. Yeah, I think the focus has dipped a little bit, personally. I don't think the North game was as bad as what the initial reaction was when I watched it on the replay. I don't think it was as bad. The previous 2 weeks, I thought we dipped a bit, but I don't think our losses now are anywhere near as bad. Like, I don't know if this makes sense, but our floor is definitely better than what it used to be. I think we're going to actually slap Port. Just a gut feeling. I know we're a bit bruised, but we know that going in, only our best will get it done. I think this will be a super tight contest. A kick in it. Wiedering doesn't get a corky. He'll towel up Dixon. Yeah, that'd be nice. Curnow will have a bigger say than Georgiades. Okay, it's time. I want to talk about Charlie Curnow. I want to do an exercise with you all here together. Okay? And the reason why I want to do this exercise is because I think there's a bit of a misconception around Charlie Curnow. And more specifically, what I'm referring to is he's lazy, he's selfish, he's off, he's not the same, etc., etc. So let's just dive into it. Let's just get right into it. This is the Coleman medal race right now. These are the offensive numbers right now. This is what it looks like. Curnow with 53, Hogan 49, King 45, Harry 44, Waterman 41, Tracy 39. So I wanted to first compare maybe Charlie to certain forwards. So I'll do this together with you, right? So we'll do this. So can you in the chat tell me right now, apart from Charlie, who's the best forwards in the league? Who are the best forwards in the league that we can compare Charlie to? Because all you can do is be as good as what's out there. So can you list a player that we can look head to head with? Maybe we'll do Jesse Hogan or Waterman. Maybe we'll do Jesse Hogan first. Let's do Jesse Hogan, who's second in the Coleman right now. So let's just take a look at it. We want to go 2024 AFL season. We're going to look at the averages. We're going to look at the totals. So key stats, 53 goals to 49, disposals, marks, tackles. So Jesse Hogan's had 10 more tackles over the season than Charlie. Charlie's had 40-ish more kicks. Hogan, a few more handballs. Let's go to averages. So goals, Charlie's averaging 2.9. Okay. Tackles, it actually ends up being 0.5 of a tackle more per game for Jesse Hogan, etc. Maybe we'll go here and we'll go to scoring, given that they are forwards, so that predominantly their role would be scoring and offense. So let's go to totals again. So Charlie's actually kicked a lot of behinds, and the shot accuracy is that's a pretty solid difference there. Shot accuracy 55%, Jesse Hogan 63.6%. So there you go. So he's had nearly 20 more shots on goal. There you go. Score involvements nearly 20 more than Jesse Hogan. So maybe we look at averages, what that looks like. Kind of looks like that. Okay. Let's have a look at I don't know why we focus on this personally. I think the criticism is he doesn't work hard enough. He doesn't tackle, etc., etc. So we'll go total first. So Jesse Hogan, 10 more tackles this season, 7 more tackles inside 50. Charlie's had 40 more pressure acts than Jesse Hogan, more defensive half pressure acts, just marginally, more spoils. That's interesting. Maybe we'll look at averages. We'll look at averages here. So he averages 0.5 less tackles per game. He averages just over 2 more pressure acts per game. I mean, is it massive? Is it massive? Maybe we can look at Charlie individually. This is interesting. I want you to look at something here. Charlie's goals. 2024 per game. This is every game. Okay. So he's kicked 3 or more on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 occasions. He's kicked 4 or more on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 occasions. I think where we're missing the point. What do you mean you can't discount the eye test? The eye test fails you because the eye test will go to where you want to go if you're looking for something wrong. If we go to his 2023 season, right? Per game. So this is the key difference here that I'm noticing. You see these big numbers here. So this was 9 goals against West Coast. This was 10 goals against West Coast. We haven't played them yet this year. I'm not assuming he's going to kick 9 or 10. But obviously the ceiling is higher. But if you look at the floor, look how many times he kicked 1 goal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll discount finals or haven't happened yet, whatever. But 4 times in the regular season. So we look at the ceiling versus the floor. This is 23. This is 22. Again, the ceiling versus the floor. Let's go to 24. I think we're seeing a more of a closed gap between his best and his worst. We've seen a 5-goal game. We haven't seen a 6+ goal game yet. So let's pick another player. Who else would you like to do this? He's becoming more consistent. That's the point. Also, Harry's kicked how many goals? 44. Harry kicked under 30 goals last year. Ben King? Let's do Ben King. Let's do Ben King. So we'll go scoring 2024 season total. So 53 goals to 45. Interesting. Again, nearly 20 more scoring shots, so 19 more scoring shots, 50 more scoring involvements than Ben King. Ben King is a little bit better with his shot accuracy. We look at the averages. There's a bit of a difference there. I think Hogan was a bit closer. So let's go to that defensive side of the game. Total. So he's actually laid more tackles than Ben King over the season. 10 more tackles inside 50 than Ben King for the season. More defensive. I mean, I don't think we're going to really look at defensive half pressure acts. Spoils, averages. It's interesting. I think he takes the cake there. Compare him with Harry. Now that is an interesting one. Because I think that will reveal a little bit more around Harry's year than what the general consensus is. So let's look at Harry. Let's go scoring. So the offensive side of the game. The beauty of watching this is that we get all of these stats together for us, but just to look at their seasons together. So 22 more scoring shots than Harry. That makes sense. Harry plays a bit more further up the ground. Score involvements, about 24 more. Harry's got more score launches. Harry's been pretty accurate, nearly 60%. So these are the totals. These are the averages. So between them, 9 shots on goal. Okay. Let's look at the defensive side of the game. We'll go totals. So Harry's laid nearly 30 more tackles than Charlie. More tackles than Charlie inside 50. More pressure acts. I think the defensive side of the game, Harry's showing more. Is that because he's more in the ruck? Let's have a look at last year. Wow, Harry's improved his defensive side of the game in a ridiculous way. This is 23. Look on the right-hand side. This is 24, and these are averages per game. So you're looking at a real big shift in Harry's game. Let's go back to scoring. We'll go to 23. So this is Harry's year last year. He kicked 29 goals last year in the whole season. His shot accuracy was 37.7%. I would argue Harry's the most improved player in the comp. Averages are here. That was last year. Let's look at this year. Yeah. He's improved his shot accuracy by over 20%. That's mind-blowing. So that's Harry. Why don't we look at Jeremy Cameron, who is often looked at as the creme de la creme when it comes to these big forwards. So Jeremy Cameron, 24 AFL season. We've got Charlie with 16 more goals than Jeremy Cameron so far. 17 more scoring shots. Again, he really dominates this score involvement stat against all the other star forwards. But if we look at the averages, it's around here. Interesting, because there was talks that Jeremy Cameron's a bit more of a well-rounded player offensively. I would say that's incorrect. I'd say the eye test is failing you in that regard. And then we go to defense. So Jezza has 11 more tackles for the season, but 3 less inside 50. So he's getting them outside, more up the ground. Charlie has a few more pressure acts, very marginal. Let's look at the averages. Okay. I mean, apart from tackles, it's relatively not that big. Okay, that's an interesting one. Anyone else? Who else is in the Coleman medal race? Ben King. Jake Waterman is the one that's 5th. He's kicked 41 goals. So we can compare Charlie Curnow to Waterman. 5 minutes until teams, by the way. All right, 2024 season. We'll start with offense and we'll get to defense. 12 more goals. Wow, he's had nearly 30 more scoring shots. I don't even know if this is a comparison, to be honest with you. I think this is a huge compliment to Jake Waterman for getting into this conversation. But fair play, Jake. Jake's had a good year. So that's that. 3 more tackles than Charlie, 3 less tackles inside 50. Charlie's had 22 more pressure acts. Okay. So what's the problem with Charlie again? Oh, it's the eye test. It's just the eye test. Okay. I thought the big criticism last year was that we were too one-dimensional, didn't have an even spread, and it got caught out in finals. I think we're getting a little bit used to having Charlie in the side from the injury, and we are becoming, in a really weird way, ungrateful for having him. And I think we're such a better team now than what we've ever been, and a much even spread, and that makes us way more dangerous. But anyway, like Ken Hinkley said, let's get to the end of the year and let's see where it stands. All right, we've got 3 minutes until teams. McGovern and Boyd back. Is this official? Martin in? Wait. Where's this coming from? Is this channel 7? Could someone fill me in? Yeah, where's Damien? Damien usually gives us the teams. Fantasia in? Is this official or is this a guess? The media are hypocrites. They said last year we rely on Charlie Curnow, but now we have always Mollop and Harry firing. They said Charlie's out of form. Yeah, I think we've just proven that Charlie's a way more consistent player this year than he's ever been in his career. Teams are in. Channel 7. Pitto, McGovern, and Kemp. Oh, please be. They're the 3, Damien. Pitto, McGovern, and Kemp. Cooper Lord. No, wait. Paolo posted on Twitter, Bins out, Gov in. Paul Seb. Carlton defense set to be bolstered with the inclusion of Mitch McGovern. Touted winger Jackson Binns misses out after career best output in the VFL. Interesting movement of the magnets for the Friday night fixture. Okay, so McGovern, well, Damien just gets this here. Okay, official out. TDK, Blake Acres, and Sam Durden. Oh, it's pretty straightforward, to be fair. I'll bring the teams up shortly, guys, and we will unpack all of it. But I do want to take a moment to thank Mr. Cabinets for sponsoring the team show. It's much appreciated. It's great to have you all here. The teams will come out officially. It looks like we've got them from Channel 7, thanks to those of you who are watching. TDK, Akers are both out with injury. Sam Durden, I'm going to assume that's an omission until we get confirmation. And in comes McGovern, Pitto, and Brody Kemp. So does anyone know if Katy Perry is confirmed? Katy Perry is 100% confirmed. Yep. Guaranteed. Thank you, Sean. If those are the changes, which sounds like they are, I'm happy with that. And it looks like we're going closer to what our preferred team is. Binsey would be, a little stiff, of course, but we're looking. Oh, Durden is a calf? He was getting that looked at, wasn't he? It's on the AFL website. All right, let's do this. Give me 1 second. Okay. Here are the teams, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Okay. For Port, Dylan Williams and Ollie Lord are omitted. Lockie Jones and Kane Farrell come in. For Carlton, De Koning, Blake Akers, and Sam Durden are all injured. In comes Brody Kemp, Mitch McGovern, Mark Pittonet. There you go. Let's look at the interchange. Cowan, Chincotta, Cunningham, Owies, with Jack Carroll as the final name there. Jordan Boyd, Binns, and Lewis Young are the emergencies. So, initial reactions. What do you have to say? What do you think? I think it's straightforward. Cottrell named on the wing. Can play Blake Akers' role. I think he's better suited to it when Blake's not there. What are some of these other? So Chera named on that halfback flank again. Good changes. No Binns is a disgrace. Why is that, Archo? They've done Binns dirty, but love to see Pitto starting. Very happy. Defense looking better. Boyd stiff. Not a fan of Chera halfback. Binns my boy. Strong back line. Hope Carroll gets another run as not sub. Yeah, that's a interesting one there. The final name there. Looks good. Cunningham sub again. Surprised. No Martin. I'd rather Boyd in and Chera float in the mid on the ball. Good changes. So much better with McGovern in. Good team. Luxury to have Chera on half back. When I watched the game again last week on replay, I noticed Chera much better than during the game. No Boyd is so sad. Yeah, Yaron ankle. Newman will be at half back. Interesting. Ollie Lord out, but emergencies. Maybe there's a player not 100% playing. How does Binns not get in? Well, who would you put him in for, Eden? Who would he play? Who would he be in this team instead of? Jack Martin, I'd like to see soon. It's too important of a game to bring Binns in. Where does better with Gov and Kemp? Yeah, and look at their forward line. They've got big boys there. Georgiades, Dixon. Well, hang on a minute. True, Ollie Lord is out. So who are their big boys? So Jordan Sweet, Rux. Who? There's something happening here. Georgiades, Dixon. Well, Dixon can pinch hit. They've also gone a little smaller. They're not going as tall as what we said last week. Martin will come in for the Pies game. That'd be a nice one. I want to see Carlton's notification because they usually put a little bit of news in there as well. McGovern is the thumbnail. Carlton is welcome back. Some height. After the injuries to De Koning, Durden and Akers, the Blues have unsurprisingly opted for key position players on the back of a 5-day break from the win over North Melbourne. Mitch McGovern, who's recovered from the hip flexor injury, which kept him out for the last 2 matches. He's joined by Brody Kemp, who returns to the AFL fold after 1 game for the reserves, which saw him collect 19 disposals and 12 marks in limited game time in the VFL. Unsurprisingly, Pitternet rounds out the inclusions with AFL senior coach Michael Voss mentioning the ruckman was ready to go to fill the void left by De Koning after respective foot and lung injuries. In Akers' absence, Matthew Cottrell has been named on the wing alongside Ollie Hollins, while Adam Chera is again named across halfback after his 21 disposal performance in the position last weekend against North Melbourne. Carroll, Chincotta, Cowan, Cunningham, and Owies have been named on the interchange, with the sub to be named now before the bounce. Binns Boyd and Lewis Young have been named as emergencies. Maybe I'll just switch to this one for a second and we'll just focus on us for now. Yeah, just to get a bit of a visual here. You like seeing Bam Bam out of the back line. John, I'm glad they haven't jumped at Binns to come in. Stats collected are not the be-all and end-all. Binns needs to work on his defensive role and clean up his disposal efficiency. Carroll O'Connor's the sub. I'd have Boyd sub instead of Carroll. When subbed in, then Chera can go mid. Cottrell's been getting better over the last few weeks. He definitely has. Their mid speed is really obvious. Where is our speed? What's the alternative, though? I would like to see Adam Sard running with the ball more than what we have. After last week's run, I think I saw a stat that Sam Walsh gets 13.7 handball receives a game. Imagine Adam Sard with 10 handball receives in a game. I have a feeling Elijah Holland's going to have a massive game. Kicks 4. Yeah, there's no real shock here. Like Pommy said the other night, having Sard and Hollins on one wing here with that overlap run, and then you've got Chera with Cottrell here. I personally love Kennedy forward of the ball as opposed to behind the ball. Do you think they also want to just, I mean, you have to keep testing things out before a final series, right? You don't want to do the exact same thing and become predictable and figured out. Do you think there's something in that as well? Making sure that you continue to test things, even if you think you found the best mix, you continue to test things until finals? Because once finals comes around, it's one game when you're out if you're playing in an elimination game. Sard must be number 1 in the league for number of bounces per possession. Our leg speed is Ollie, Cotters, Walsh, Carroll running through the mid-wing area is probably the best we've got on the list, and they're all in. Who do I think is the sub? I think it'll be Cunningham. Cunningham or Carroll. But I'm going to guess Cunningham. I think Cunningham will be the sub when it's all said and done, personally. I think his attributes suit a sub. That's my best guess. This is the other one. Who do you put Chincotta on? Is it Butters? I don't know if Rosie played last time. I feel like I think Rosie missed. Yeah, he did. This was the team last time. We went in unchanged off a 5-day break. Rosie, Sweet, and Rioli didn't play. So this was the lineup last time. So obviously, no Blake, no Zach, no Fantasia, no De Koning. Yeah, they went pretty small. I mean, they had Georgiades on the bench. Marshall. Soldo played that day. Yeah. It was Ryan Burton's 150th. So there's 5 changes for us since the last time we played. Walsh, Newman, Albert, well, almost can't remember. Cripps was good late. Yeah, we were able to. They've actually got a pretty even spread. We were able to corral them pretty well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Williamson. There's that 10%. That's just out of your control. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. What's for dinner? I've got soup. I've had a pretty big and late lunch. I'm not really hungry. Voss hasn't lost to Port. That's true. Ever since he came to Carlton, that is very true. Boyd Dane was an emergency, so not injured. Why isn't he in the team? Jason, you are scared for the game. Not going to lie. Why is that? Scared we might lose? Let's have a look at the landscape. This is where it sits. Let's have a look. Let's look at the possibilities of what could happen this round. Let's tip us for now. I will look at the alternative in a moment. Geelong and North. Can North beat Geelong? Can they do it? I'm going to say Geelong just for Geelong's sake. I really do believe the Bombers are going to beat St Kilda. We'll go Brisbane. We'll go the D's, Freo, the Pies, Sydney at home, and let's just say Adelaide Oval. Let's just look at some of the options. Let's just say we lose this game. This is the worst case scenario at the end of the round if these results happen. If we lose, Geelong win, Brisbane win, Freo win, they're the ones that really affect us. All right. If we win, we just keep second spot. Let's just say, all right, we'll say the Hawks win. Let's go here. Let's say the Giants win. Let's say the Suns beat Brisbane. That's the landscape. North. It really doesn't matter about these other teams, does it? It's just about us. I would love a Gold Coast win, though, just to help out with a potential Brisbane surge. So we could go to 5th if we lose. Brisbane, GWS, Geelong, and Essendon win. And Freo. Okay. So the stakes are high. The Suns haven't lost at home. Good point. Good point. Let's just say the Dogs. Wow, imagine we get it done and the Dogs upset the Swans at the SCG. We'd be a game out of top spot. Insane. There's no way the Eagles can win this game, is there? Brizzy is without Harris Andrews. True. And the Swans are going to be missing a few players too. I haven't seen the full teams. Just quickly. Okay, McGovern, Waterman, Darling, and that's a strong team back for the Eagles. Freo lose Alex Pearce, who's their best defender and a big leader for them. The Suns, they got Big Witsy back. Okay, Anderson's 100th game. Harris Andrews, Darryl Joyce, Bruce Reville omitted. Logan Morris, Pryor, McKenna. It's a big game. Melbourne, Max Gorney's named. Bailey Laurie, Tajrell Woden. Sam Taylor's back for the Giants. That's huge. North, Zach Fisher's out. All right. Saints, Bombers. Okay, Bombers have got the cavalry is arriving. I think they'll win. If we lose, mate, alarm bells never. There's never alarm bells. We just wait till the end. Oh, the Crows. Okay. Then you got Collingwood, Schultz, Cox, Frampton, Bytel. Okay, these are all extended teams. The Swans, they are two key players there, Papley and Rampy. Okay. So let's go back to the predictor. This is what it could be. This is a massive game. Saturday night. Saturday twilight, I should say. Brisbane, Gold Coast. Gold Coast could have Brisbane off. I mean, Brisbane are going to come home strong. It's hard to see them losing many games. This is one they could lose, I think. The Ds, I believe, at the MCG, I'm not buying into the fact that they're cooked completely. Still think they'll win games. Giant, that's a cracking game. Both of these, cracking games. Freo just at Optus, whatever. Surely they couldn't. They couldn't. We want the Pies to win. We want the Pies to win to be ready for next week. We'll get to them next week, all in good time. And then there's this. I don't know who said it earlier, but I think the Doggies, these are good games. I think this game is a good game. Adelaide Hawthorn will be a cracker. Obviously, Gold Coast and the Lions, Melbourne and the Giants. I think the Saints will take it to the Bombers and make it a good game, but I still think the Bombers will win. And I think tomorrow night could be game of the season as well. It's genuinely 5 great games that I think are in front of us here. Port's next 5. Carlton, Swans, Melbourne, Crows, and Freo. That's rough. That is extremely rough. Michael, thanks very much for making a purchase at the BA shop. Appreciate it. Got yourself a hoodie. Love it. Do I think it's the best round? No, I don't know. I don't remember the others. I think it's a pretty good one. Season defining. Okay. Will the Bulldogs beat the Swans? Potentially. 1 second. Maz, Blues by 34. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow we're on. Let's put some predictions in. What's the story of the game? Chat, what have you got? What is your story of tomorrow night? How does the game play out? What is the story of tomorrow night? Let me get these teams back up so I can visualize what's going on here. What have you got? How do you see it? Story of tomorrow. Story of tomorrow. It's Charlie Curnow tomorrow. It's actually Charlie Curnow. Oh, it's so Charlie Curnow tomorrow night. It's brilliant. It's perfect. It's all set up. I think we'll be a bit unpredictable with our new wings. McGovern back gives me a lot of confidence. I'm surprised at this forward setup for the power. Let's have a look. What have you said? Show the Hashims. Oh. All right, I'll show it later. Our team's cooked. We're out of finals pretty much. It's shocking. It's shocking what's happened with my fantasy team, my draft team. Pitto stomps the opposition on the opposition. So Pitto's coming up against Jordan Sweet. Just FYI. Midfield dominates. Charlie kicks big mobs. Carlton now by 4 goals at 3/4 time. Come home to win by 8. Dione is going to be on a flight to Bali. Hope you land and see a big win. Huge. Maz, Charlie to go back up last week with 5+. Mott's with 4, so Ari has to shave his head. BOG Cripper with 2 goals. Curnow 5, Motlop 4, Elijah 2. See what you did there. We lose by a small margin, and then we win the rest of the games for the year when Jack Martin returns. Oh, yeah. It's Pitto for me. Win or lose, how did Pitto go? Okay. Lemon Pop Animations, hello. Oh, Lemon Pop Animations. Just so you know, no one else knows this. I'm not going to reveal it yet. I'm going to be a bit secretive. The animation you made for me earlier in the season obviously hasn't been used. I'm hoping to use it soon and drop it at the end of a game. We just need a result to go our way. And I know that you know what I mean, but just know that it's ready. Foxwood, Big Charlie shootout. King Curnow takes the win. Blues in front from the first. Cripper leads with 30-3. Story. Wiedering kicks 2 sneaky goals as Blues consolidate second spot with a 40-point win. King Crips and his merry man drain the power from Marvel. 22. Nathan Williamson rigs the game for Port like he did in 2020. We kick 7 goals in the first quarter. Motlop 3 in the first. Jesse Motlop 4 goals just for you, Tez. Love that. Blue Cement second spot. 100-point win. Always with 5. Jesse with 4. Get out the Clippers, Ari. Lewis, you a 29-month member. That's huge. Blues by 20. Carlton finds its form. Charlie Curnow kicks 4 and Harry kicks 3 with our smalls kicking all all kicking goals. Our midfield dominates and we keep them to 60 points. That would be good. Peter to go Super Saiyan and shoot rays of awesomeness out of his bungle. Blues make a statement, win by 64. Charlie 8, Cripps 42. I'm confident for tomorrow. Hawks are scary. Not worried about Chera, awesome player, but I feel we need Boyd's kicking in the back half as well as his defensive skill. Kool-Aid. Carlton by 14, Cripps to get 3. Could Chera in the back line be in order to address our D50 stoppage issues? Saw an improvement last week in that area. Good call. Don't mind that. Lucinda, intuition says 50 to 100. Rationality says 20 to 40. Walsh always has big games against the SA teams. Wiedering retires Dixon. I think this will be... I hope the crowd is engaged tomorrow. I hope there's none of this rubbish entitlement in the crowd. I'm hoping it's a blockbuster, cracking game of footy. I think it will be. I think it's going to be tight, very similar to the last time we played, except I don't see us blowing the game out like we did last time. I think it'll be Blues by 4, like heart in mouth type stuff, because the games now start looking like finals because there's a lot on the line. Port have to win to stay in the 8, and they've got a tough run. We have to win to keep our top spot, our second spot, I should say. So the stakes are higher, the margins for error are thinner, and I think it will be us just. Although I did have us splitting this with Port Adelaide this year, start of the year. I thought we would go 1-1. I thought they would beat us in Adelaide, and I thought we would beat them at Marvel. So we'll see. Blues by 12. Cincotta reduces Butters to tears. Yet another fine. Well, that's what we know. We know that Butters is susceptible to getting frustrated. So Cincotta is the perfect role. I think with Cincotta, I'm not sure around having him chop and change. When he has a defined role, and I guess that helps when you're winning. When you're winning, you don't need to change him anywhere. When the game's on your terms, they move him around to certain players. But I don't know if that messes with things if he's just going to be going to Butters and then Rosie and then whatever. I actually think Rosie is the most dangerous player for Port Adelaide. Whoa, just relax. Rowan Vertigan has become a member of the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. Welcome and thank you, mate. Says, I like that Voss is trying moves at the moment. You want a full side to pick from in finals, but you just never know who's going to be available. And we have to win with who is on the field on the day. Crowd will be mental. I hope so. Just rocking. Terry, my heart can't handle cardiac Carlton. Carlton by at least 20, please. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of cardiac arrest happening next couple of months. So, Gav, do you think, when you say pumping, do you mean someone wrote a comment to me earlier, I forget where, somewhere online, and they said that it's got Sydney 2022 vibes about it for them. That would be fun. Dione, what's the difference between subscription and membership? Okay, subscribing to the channel is free. You don't pay to subscribe. The membership is an optional thing. It's through YouTube. It just allows you to access the emojis and whatnot. We have a $3 version. I would actually recommend, if you're going to be a member for the future, just do the $3 one. I'm thinking of moving the $7 one and $30 one away from YouTube and moving them onto a different platform. Just because, and setting up a proper Blue Abroad, like pack membership. But the YouTube membership gives you your name in green. It gives you the customized emojis of the different players. Maybe if someone who is a member can show the different emojis. So yeah, subscription is free. Subscribing to the YouTube channel is free and will always be free. It's just more. By the way, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. It is free and it helps the channel grow. And it helps everyone. I'll be all over a special B8 pack. Yeah, I'll set it up soon. I'm going to remove the big $30 and $7 memberships because, I mean, Google take like 30%. So it's not worth it. When's the burst fade happening? That's not me. That ain't for me. The burst fade, the blonde hair, that's not me. No. Really hope we play team football, not me football. Bang on, John. Then you get my phone number. Yeah. Chink somewhat reminds me of Ryan Crowley's tagging role. Not so worried about the ball, more focused on the tagged player's role. The big pack to include Pommy and JP as well. Yeah, it'll be outside of YouTube. I've just got to put it somewhere where I'm not getting attacked by Google. The special BA pack will come in a brown paper bag. That's actually very clever, you know. Have I seen the AFL 23 Pro team packs? I have seen them. I don't play anymore. I don't play. I don't have a PS5. I'm at that point where I've given away my gaming days. It's sad, but you know, life moves on, mate. And all good things come to an end. One day this channel won't exist. So, yeah. I'm not a gamer at the moment. That could change in the future. I might get a console. I doubt it. I do doubt it at this stage, but we'll see. You missed the end of reflections. Did you end up agreeing to a bet? No, we didn't. Ari did not come up with a reasonable bet. So we couldn't. We need more clearances. For people saying they're worried about their smalls, how about our smalls? Always Mots and Fog, bring it. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the concern about the opposition, not that I'm not concerned about them, they've got great players everywhere, but that came from the previous era where we were a bit of a basket case. Yeah. Adrian has become a Blue Abroad member. Thanks, mate. Welcome. Your game for life, personally. Go and give that up. I said that not long ago. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I don't have a console. I mean, I don't have kids, so I'm not playing games now. I can't imagine me playing games. Maybe when I do have kids, actually, they'll play video games, and I'll play with them. So that's when I'll return. Will the pack come with a lid? Absolutely not. Do I sports bet? No, I don't. Not really. I play Draft Stars. I play like fantasy, like DraftKings, but the Aussie version. I used to do sports bet, made bad errors, made bad mistakes, learned harsh lessons, and then stopped. It's just not, honestly, it's not worth it. You lose more than you win. But you have to learn your life mistakes on your own. So their mids have a little bit more foot speed. Yeah, they do. Not as good in the contest. The contest will decide this one. Yeah, they definitely have, with Rosie in there too, Rosie, Butters, and Horn Francis, with Drew being there. I think Willem Drew is their version of Hewitt. Yeah. I would transfer you donation because I don't have use card over the net. Yeah, if you would like to, please get in touch. We do accept donations here. I'm thinking Carlton mids will fire and we might win this by heaps if that happens. Prediction baggers by 68. By the way, if there's anything else you guys want to do to hang out, I'm happy to chill for a little bit more. We can play a game. We can watch something that's not copyrighted content. Let me know. How does Martin get back in? I don't mind it. He played last week, but I still think what they've done with Motlop is important, giving him a run of games, and Martin as well. He's missed a lot of footy. I'm glad that we haven't rushed him back in. And also, let's look at this team. Where is Martin playing? Who's coming out for him? Really worried with Chera halfback. He couldn't defend last week. What did his opponent do last week? Who was his opponent? And what damage did his opponent do? Don't need a PS5. That's true. I could game on the PC. Terry, I can assure you, your kids will ban you from the games. Or what if I beat them in games, though? Maybe. They probably will. Kool-Aid in the pack? Yeah, there'll be Kool-Aid in the pack. Gaming would increase your subs hugely. It's definitely not something I would do in the season. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. Definitely not something I would do in season, maybe off season. Jay. Stinky feeling will drop this one, then storm home to secure second spot. We are in the transition of Carlton of old mentality and Carlton of now mentality because of the emotional scarring we have. It's hard not to slip back into the old thinking. That's a really fair summary. Numbers, Gridley. Can play Gridley. Jumper number. Okay. All right. It's as if we lost last week. Yeah, it is as if we lost last week. There's a bit of sitting around moping, isn't there? There is a bit of that. Fire up. We're battered last week and still found a way. The Roos had easily their best side in the park. We were primed. I think there's also a new thing happening with us. Teams play their best against us. They fear us and therefore they respect us. Sorry. They fear us because they respect us, and we get the best version of every team we play. That wasn't as much the case last year because we were still trying to prove ourselves. I think we need to get used to that. Teams love beating us. That's the truth. Clubs love beating us. Fan bases love when they beat us. We're that team. We've got to step into our villain era, our villain arc is what I think. Definitely want to hang out more. Picnic abroad currently coming into the room. I'll play some games shortly. How do we become a member? So you need to be on a PC or a laptop. There's a button that says join next to the subscribe button. That's how you do it. What's scarring? Yeah, what's scarring? Footy numbers is the new Gridley. All right. Am I going to be putting out content during my time at the training camp? Carlton content, definitely. I don't think I'll be doing a daily video of the journey. No, I don't think I'll do that, but I will definitely be still creating daily, weekly videos, Carlton related, while I'm on the camp. I'm doing it for 6 weeks this time around. That's the plan. So that'll be interesting. I feel like Collingwood have put up with the best versions of opponents for a while. Yeah. Right. Even when we played the Dogs, that way the Bont talked about us as a club sounded like they feared but admired us dearly. Oh, yeah. If you're on an Android, I think it works too. I've come a long way as Martin can't get in. The 19 goals in a row, scarring. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The hardest emotion is joy because we are worried it will be taken away, but we will regret it if we don't enjoy every minute we can. 100%. What was I watching today? What was I watching today? It was talking about this. Oh my God. I can't remember what it was. I was watching something today that was talking about the journey. It was, it's like on the tip of my tongue. I think it was sport footy related. It might have been Tom Barras. It was Tom Barras. It's exactly what it was. With Dill Buckley. Where do I find it? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Tom Barras talking with Dill Buckley about instead of looking at things as the destination, looking at them as the journey. Dione, she's done it. Thank you. Welcome to Blue Abroad membership. Okay, it was Dill and friends.
Named Alan Watts.
Oh,
He's a philosopher and he's
great. 1 second. Instagram. I'm going to get this video up. And I really think this rings true in all facets. And I would like to open up the conversation about this. Where am I going?
Watts. No, he's a philosopher and he's famous for bringing the East to the West. And he's got a really famous sort of lecture excerpt about that. You know, I'll go to school and the good things coming. You know, I'll be able to get my license and get my ATAR, and then I'll get a job and the good things coming. And you know, and then I'll get a promotion and the good things coming. And then you get to 45 and you've got 3 kids and you realize the good thing isn't coming. And in fact, you just missed all the good thing, thinking that, you know, there was a destination to be at, and that instead, you know, it should be approached like a song. It needs to be played. You're not playing a song to get to the end note. You're playing it to play it and to be creative with it. And that was that learning for me, is that this is meant to be enjoyed. This is not an outcome driven thing. This needs to be fun, or what's the point? Are you familiar with it?
So if you every week, if we are on the journey to hopefully the premiership, right? If every single week we roll up here and we're like, oh, it's a fucking danger game. Oh, this is why we're going to lose. Oh, I've just got the feeling. Isn't that just feeding into everything you're going to regret one day? Like, the point is to enjoy it. I actually want to find this. I want to find this chat. Alan Watts speech. I want to find this speech. Alan Watts. Like, what we're going through now are the times we're going to look back on after we've won the flag and say, these were the good old times. We're living through them now. Play a song to enjoy it. Let's enjoy our season. Know thyself, all things in moderation. Correct. Because when this channel started, we were dog shit. And we begged for when we would lose ugly. Do you remember? Do you remember talking about that? Why can't we just get to a point where we can just lose ugly? Now we're losing a little ugly at times. And we're looking at, but Charlie Curnow's lazy and selfish. You know, there's something wrong. We're 12-8, sitting second. This is wrong. I just will always remind us to enjoy this and be grateful for this now. I want to find this speech from Alan Watts. Oh, this could be it. Does anyone know what speech this is that he's talking about? Because I think it would be cool to watch it. The present moment, is that what it's called? Alan Watts. Alan Watts, the present moment. Thank you, Jay. The present moment, Alan Watts' wisdom.
I would like to see if you could change your basic notions of economics. And I mean the economics of energy. We are always scrimping and saving because our economics are based on scarcity rather than exuberance. But notice that the economics of nature are allegedly wasteful. They're based on exuberance. Many more seeds than are necessary for trees. Many more spermatozoa than are necessary for people. Many more stars than anybody could conceivably want. Galaxies galore. Nature is a vast celebration of energy. But if you complain about this and say, oh dear me, it's all running out, that means, you see, that you are looking for fulfillment in time. And you say, if there is not enough future, we won't get the golden goody we're looking for at the end of the line. See, there is that feeling. There is the great golden goody. And it's represented in religious art by the golden flower. This is everywhere. When a human being tries to symbolize what it is that he really wants at the end of the line, very often thinks of a flower. There is the celestial rose in
Or the premiership.
Dante's vision of paradise. There is the golden lotus of Mahavairocana, the great sun Buddha, at the center of the mandala. There is the rose garden of Our Lady. So, in this way of thinking, let's put it in another dimension for the moment.
The whole idea of our being driven is connected with the idea of causality, of life moving under the power of the past. And that is so ingrained in our common sense that it's very difficult to get rid of it, because I want to turn the thing round completely the other way and say that the past is the result of the present. So you see, if you insist on being moved, being determined by the past, that's your game. But the fact of the matter is, it all starts right now. So then the question is, are you here, recollected? See, most people aren't. They're bothering about yesterday and wondering what they're going to do tomorrow. And aren't all here. That's the definition of sanity, to be all there. So to be recollected is to be completely alert, available for the present. Because that's the only place that you are ever going to be in. Yesterday doesn't exist. Tomorrow never comes. There is only today. A great Sanskrit sort of invocation says, look to this day, for it is life. In its brief course lie all the realities of our existence. Yesterday is but a memory. Tomorrow is only a vision. Look well then to this day. Such is the salutation of the dawn. So, Smriti means then recollectedness in the sense of being all here. In the sense that this is the only where there is.
Wow. That's interesting. That's deep. I love that stuff. But it's the truth. All we really have is now. Like, why would we talk about reacting to what happened in the past and not enjoying that moment when we were there? So relatable. Yeah, I mean, we're constant. I mean, do you truly believe, and not just you, Chills, anyone, that you'll only be happy with this club if they win the flag this year? Like, that's the only way you'll look back and enjoy this whole ride? I'm curious. I got a question. I had a question on Twitter about what happens if we lose a tall, and that would be stuffed. I mean, what happens if we lose a tall? Well, I don't know. Us as humans always chasing perfection for some reason when perfect doesn't exist. Perfect doesn't exist. Yeah, I would open that conversation as well. These standards, you ever hear that phrase? Oh, we're Carlton, and the times may change, but the standards remain the same. Cool. Do you at home, does everyone who holds the club to these elite standards hold the exact same standards to themselves in their life? Or is footy just a way to look at a different realm in life and apply these standards to something or someone, in this case, a club and a group of players and human beings, as opposed to applying that standard to oneself? That's the part that I think I've evolved and learned over the journey here, because I used to think the same way. Standards, we're the Carlton Football Club. I was a projection of what I had learnt from the generation before me. And then I think at some point, you know what, honestly, Collingwood beating us in 22 was a massive turning point in my understanding and feeling and experience with the club and with footy. Because it was, you invest so much emotion and care dependent on the result, and then that happens, and then you realize, okay, well, that everything was shaken for me at that point. And I got so far in the dumps that I realized, hang on a minute, what am I doing? This is a sport. Like, and the next season will come around, or the next week will come around. In that case, it was the next season. But it never ends. So are we going to be forever in this state of anger and frustration because the club couldn't get a draft pick right and the club went through this shitty time? Like, these players that play now, some of them were born after the salary cap stuff even happened. Like, they don't even know. Like, the Canberra Harley boys didn't even know that Charlie Curnow wears number 30. Like, we're dealing with a generation of people who don't even know about this trauma that we feel as a, footy trauma. Yeah. Reckon that we all use footy as a way to feel that feeling of tribe and community that we are lacking as human beings. Yeah, this is the beauty of footy. The beauty of football is it does this. No doubt about it. Part of us died. Yeah. And then we were reborn. The journey is so much better. So much better. Do you know, once we win the flag, whenever that is, it's never going to be the same. We're always going to compare it to, the conversations around, nothing's going to be as good as that first one. So I'm aware of that. I'm aware that could be this year, might be this year, could be next year. It could not. But I'm not going to not enjoy it just because we don't win it. I'm going to enjoy every second while we have it, because I know that once we get to like October, November, we're lost without it and we miss it. Rocco, losing to the Pies is nowhere near as bad as losing to the grand final in 1993. Okay, fair. Yeah. See, that just goes to show the difference in experience. Worst thing I've seen in my life is without a doubt round 23, 2022. I've not seen a grand final. I've not seen a grand final loss, especially against a rival. That's crazy. If we lose, sun still comes up. Life goes on. Lots of bigger things to worry about and celebrate too. Yeah. Some people in the watch along chat need to watch this. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're also going through this transition period. The internet is unfiltered and unregulated for the most part. And it was just this space where you can put a username. No one can identify you. You can say whatever you want. But at some point, that accountability has to come into it for what you put out there. Surely. I've learned that the hard way too. What happens to the channel if and when we win a flag? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I thought about it. I think I will leave Australia. I really want to be here for the flag. That's why I came home. Why I came home is to build this thing and then see the flag. And then when we win the flag, I'll still do this. Just whether or not it's in Melbourne or not is the question. It's not going to be deleted, but I think it'll evolve. I don't know what it looks like, but I know that things will change. That 93 grand final was my 25th birthday. Oh, gross. The final 4 rounds of the 22 season, especially the dying minutes in the loss to the Pies, was necessary for this group to snap out of it. Amen. It was needed. We can hold each other accountable. Yeah, we can bring each other up and rise out of it. I think we do it just slowly, but we get there. I was at a grand final, North in 99. I think I cried for 2 days. Wow, going to a grand final. Even just going to a granny. I refuse to go to a grand final until Carlton are in one. I want that to be my first. The one thing about this channel is it's been a documentation of the first time I've experienced X, Y, and Z. So if we finish top 4, it'll be the first qualifying final I've ever watched. I'm yet to watch a granny, yet to watch a prelim win, prelim win. I'm yet to watch a grand final, win or loss. So it's like a series of bucket list items. Everything has to fall into place and add luck. Totally. Flag is abroad. I'll do a poll as to where to live. Yeah, I'm not stopping. Yeah, this will never stop. Terry's pins go up. Oh, yeah. These go from 17 to 18 after the next one. That's what happens. What if we win 4 in a row? Yeah, I can't comprehend that. The fact that we are strangers from all nationalities and love this club as one. We are all family in a funny way. We've become great friends. I think what we've been able to do is capture what I used to hear about, the Princess Park social scene. I think we have started to tap into that, and we've brought it into this modern world. And I think we as a club and the fan content, I know we lead that charge in building the online community. I have no doubt about that. Hello, Explicit Empress. Chasing perfection is an escape mechanism because it doesn't exist. So it supports our fears of success or our fears of failure because it's impossible to achieve. Hook it to my veins. So good. So good. Absolutely. Our club and BA is the third place, like a social connector, like the church. Well, yeah. At the beginning, I mean, this always is when it depends who I say it to, but I mean, it's a fan channel. But think about that. Think about the word channel. It's the channel between the fans and the club. It's the connector. It's always been the fan engagement platform. I've always had a really hard time with the industry understanding that. I feel like I'm speaking a different language when I talk about that to anyone that works in footy, in media, or whatnot. It hasn't quite clicked. But for those of you here and those of you who are fans, like, you get it. It's a really weird spot to be in, but eventually it'll make sense. Luca, we were living a little bit too much in La La Land. Yeah, I remember. Well, remember 22. So that was the first time a lot of us had watched us beat Richmond and then win 2 in a row and then win 3 in a row. And we were just enjoying it. Then we were 8-2. We had beaten the Giants away. We'd come to Marvel. We beat Sydney in round 10. It was just like, guys, enjoy it. I regret nothing of 2022 because that was the first season in a long time that we got to truly enjoy it and see the team break some boundaries. And then we needed some heartbreak. We got it. And I think it was the best thing for us. I don't think we get to a prelim last year if we don't have 2022 happen the way it did. Peter, you've seen the Blues win 7 flags, highly pleasurable experience, but it didn't make me a happier person. Thank you. That's a great reflection. It's a great reflection. Because the next season will come along. Like, if you're Collingwood, you've won the flag last year, are you eternally happy? You know? And then if you are, does that mean you are not happy now because the team is not performing as well? I think that's the message. Like, it doesn't end. 99 prelim was heaven. I can't even imagine that. 95 best weekend. Sound gone? You can't hear me? Oh, wait. Went to the 95 grand final, crying for 2 days. Wow. I vote Melbourne. It's a big bad world out there. So much to see. Petra, only cried once over a football game. It was when I went to the 1986 losing grand final against the Hawks. Not the loss, just the sight of seeing Dool stroll off in his last game. Did he have that much of an impact? I spoke to Paul Barbaza and did his Carlton People episode a few years ago, and he actually started tearing up a little bit when he mentioned Bruce Dool, and I asked him who was your favorite player growing up, and he mentioned Bruce Dool, and he paused and he got emotional in the moment. It was fascinating and it was beautiful. Losing the 93 grand final hurt me. Couldn't speak to anyone for a week. Steve, mate, Terry, this half okay and half boring. In these times, can you please show highlights and Pommy showing when we went wrong or right? Doing great job. Thanks. I wish I could show highlights, mate. Would make our jobs a lot easier. BA in the Greek islands or Ba. Yeah. Can you imagine Pommy's pre-game war cry on the watch along of a grand final before we go to war with whoever it is? Can you imagine? I don't watch the watch alongs live because I'm at the games, but for those of you who watch the watch alongs and tune in, I can only imagine. I think the fans that judge the boys not for being perfect are purging their own self-judgment, whether they know it or not. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Josh, can't wait for footy numbers. Sorry, mate. We'll do footy numbers. I'll load it up. Hang on. Team Blues. Okay. Soon. End of 22 made the heights of 23 so much better. Oh, Steve, you were talking about this show. Yeah, I mean, look, we've been on for 2.5 hours. We did a lot of footy and highlights and previews and footy stuff before the teams were announced, and now on, we're just sort of hanging out. I'm about to wrap up, but I'm enjoying this conversation. The first 28 years of my life, we averaged a flag every 3.5 years. The next 28 years, we haven't won any. Yeah. Crazy. He would give us a World War II reference and a motivational speech. Yeah. The nervous energy if we make a grand final. Yeah. I only watch the live watch-alongs for interstate games. When I watch the replays, I have Pommy's commentary going when I watch the games. Yeah, I noticed that a lot more often now. People are saying that. All right. Speaking of Lygon Street, I can now tell you, Canoleria, the cannoli company that sponsors the Blue Abroad show, have opened their doors. They've got a flagship store on Lygon Street in Carlton. So that's exciting. I'm going to have a little bit more information and some videos around that coming, but that just reminded me. So Pommy and I have spoken about this. I think we've spoken about this on a show here as well. So this is the plan for grand final whenever it happens. If we win, we will all celebrate. There will be no fan cams immediately after the game. We will all go and celebrate into the night. We will come here the next day. I don't care how long it takes. Everyone's story about the game and their night gets told. I don't care if it's 12 hours. I don't care, but we do it the next day. So we celebrate. Now, if we lose, I don't want to be anywhere else other than right here, just consoling. Does that make sense? Have to choose the party venue. Yeah, we do. Yeah, Johnny Holden back to Norton's. Just YouTube allow for 17 hours stream. We can go for as long as we like. Sounds like a plan? All right, deal. If we lose a grand final, have someone sooks, we can block them straight away. If we win a grand final and someone comes on here and says it should have been by more, I give up. I completely give up. Would have to be installments of lives. Maybe. Potentially. Alumbra. Book it out. Party by myself. If we win a flag, I won't be going home for a week. True. Yeah. We're on the precipice of the greatest story of a passionate, great club in its darkest days, reaching the summit and having every single moment documented. I think Jake from Saints TV has it as well. If he taps into it, I think he will realize he has it as well. I spoke to him about this the other day. The Saints have obviously gone through a much longer premiership drought. And I think he is onto something special as well. Right now, I mean, Carlton is just respectfully a bigger club than the Saints, but the Saints have a bigger drought. So that story is really special. But for us as Carlton supporters and the history, to have it all documented, and then there's going to come the time where we're going to put it all together and turn it into a full-on movie. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a full feature. Oh, maybe it's a series. I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. So it could be a movie. It could be Honestly, I think it's a series. I think it's a series that goes for as many years as it takes until they win the flag. And so season 1 is the 2019 season or 2018 season. Season 2 is 2019, etc., etc. And then we condense everything into, I don't know, 10 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how we do it, but we're going to do it. Left Oz after the win over the D's last year in Cathedral in Palermo when we lost the prelim. Oh, wow. Give my manager the Carlton supporter, she will understand. Historic comments I still haven't played yet. Have to have like in-person interviews with everyone. Yeah, totally. It'll be better than the journey. It will be. Got a name. The Journey, BA version. What'll be the true? What's the name of the? What is the name of the movie or the doco or the series? I mean, yeah, I guess The Journey is it. Kate, if we make the granny, I'm flying over. Just decided you have to, and they've just announced 1,000 tickets, 1,000 extra tickets for club members. Do you think that they know that maybe it's because we might make it and they're just getting ready for it? Road to 17. That sounds good. Do they cancel Katie when Robbie comes for our grand final? I think if we make the granny, Robbie will come no matter what. Blue all aboard the premiership train. Bluegasm is my preference for name. 17 is ours. It's coming. The journey to 17. PA at the Church of the Blue. I think we have Robbie Williams at halftime, Perry at pregame. Yeah, I'm with you. Couldn't care where I sit. Just got to be there. From Malthouse to Glory. Yeah. Live stream still going. Monster effort. Had to check lineups for Supercoach team. Yep. BA Journey Through History. Wow, I've got to get Robbie Williams on for a chat. How do we do that? How do we get Robbie Williams on Blue Abroad for a chat? How do we do that? How do you reach Robbie Williams? Getting goosebumps. Footy Roman numerals? Footy Roman numerals? What? The Voices of Blue Abroad, a Blue Bagger story. Voss will have his number, Instagram. Can't DM him or his wife. I tried. Johnny Holden, I rewatched the round 22 Collingwood loss. Boy, do we have some supporters jump off the Voss bus and want to blow up the club. This is why I always say supporters should not run a club. Too emotional. How will you feel built up to Granny if we make it? I don't know. I'll be grateful. I know I'll be grateful for it. It's everything I've wanted. It's the one thing really I'm fixated on experiencing. And it's weird because it's not in my control. Call his agent and pay his quote. Ugh. Surely you have an in with Tom. True. Surely I could ask the club to say, hey, we have a fan channel. Would you do 10 or 15 minutes with them? Oh, it'd be massive. Get Robbie Williams. Mm-hmm. Bailey, mate, you'll have a very interesting compilation. By the way, guys, depending on when you found this channel, Bailey does the compilations at the end of the season. Bailey, I actually watched 2019 and 2020 recently. Some amazing work by you. Could react. Blue Abroad comes home. Blue Abroad did come home, yeah. Want of Voss to get the 4-year extension in amongst the 8 or 9 losses. Now I want 10 years. Yeah. Imagine Slobbo if we win the granny. All right. Let's do really footy numbers. All right, I'll play footy numbers. I'll do a quick one. I can't get any of this wrong. Fog. Is this the historical one? How do you know that? How do I know if it's the historical one or not? So let me just say Scotland. Okay, it's not. Okay. Wait. I see. Okay, we'll do historic. Teams, the Blues. So any player who ever wore the numbers that are going to pop up. I've got 30 seconds, so I've got to be quick. Let's play. We'll do one round. And we want rare numbers. Aaron Hamill definitely wore 36. Then he moved to 4. Josh Honey. He was the most popular. Okay. Oh, there's no time limit. Sorry. No, there is. 15. Who wore number 15? Chat. Rare. Sam Doherty is obviously there. Sellers. Oh. Evans. Ugh. Who's it? Which Evans? I had to go, Doc, just because I was running out of time. Okay, wait. I'm going to let you all catch up, and then I'm going to go generate new player. Okay. Ready? I'm going to try and sync up with the chat. Okay. 21. So Jack Martin for sure. Craig Bradley. Who else? Oh, you're not giving me anything. Braddles. Okay. Craig Bradley, 80 to 85, 86 to 202. Who's the other Craig Bradley? Bootsma, Barry Gill, Frank Gill, Frank Irwin, Paul Schmidt, Troy Longmuir. Jack Martin. So Bradley's the second most popular. So our rarity is 49%. We want to bring that down. Okay. I'm generating a player in 5 seconds. There's a delay with the chat. I don't know how to fix that. Number 9. Or Cripps. Was this one Adrian Hickmott? Number 9? I reckon Hickmott wore the 9. Kenny Hunter? Okay. Great. 11%. Great. Brett Scholl, that would have been 1%. Okay. They're the ones that we need. We want to bring this rarity right down. Okay. Well, Sticks, Lockie O'Brien, Ollie Hollins. I'm going to go Lockie O'Brien and get it ready. Bryce Gibbs, unless there's a better. Ken Hunter. Oh, Bazzosto. Peter Bazzosto. Bob Bazzosto. Peter Bazzosto. Hey, who's Bob Bazzosto? Was that his brother? Is that that's a relative, right? I didn't know there was a relative. Can someone confirm that? Who was Bob Bazzosto? That was his dad? Was Peter Bazzosto a father's son? Oh my God. I love this. Bob Bazzosto, born 8th of June, 1934, and died on the 28th of December, 1997, was an Australian rules footballer. Born in Perth, he was recruited by the Perth Football Club and was seen as a young talent playing on the wing and halfback. Bazzosto's name was put forward by former Carlton captain Ern Henfrey, and Carlton signed him. He had a 2-year career at Carlton, playing a total of 20 senior games. He played mainly out of the back pocket, unable to push forward because of club champions Bruce Combat and John James. Wow. He then accepted an offer to captain coach Euroa in the Rawonga NEFL for 3 years, from 57 to 59. He then led the team to back-to-back premierships. Wow. There you go. His son Peter played for Carlton. His brother-in-law was Tom Allison, and his nephew is Brett Allison. There you go. Not father's son. Okay, because he only played 20 games. Got it. Okay. Bruce Dual wore number 4 before 11. I didn't know that. All right, I'm going to go again. Ready? Number 2. Well, that's John Nichols. That's also young Jack Silvani. I'm going to roll with this because very few people remember that he wore it. Yeah, 9%. Yeah. Harry Sullivan, Corey McKernan, Jim Marchbank. Harford wore the 2. Wow. Warren Jones. All right. Ready? Let's go again. 31. Tom Williamson comes to mind. I'm just going to get that one ready, unless those of you can give me a better version. 31. Oh, that's Elvin. Yeah, Tommy Elvin. Tom Elvin. Yeah. Second most popular answer. He's got a bit of a profile, Tommy Elvin. Like, a lot of you talk highly of him. He was born on the 21st of April from Bairnsdale in the Latrobe Valley Football League. He was identifiable on the field with his flowing black hair and determined aggressive style of play. Yeah. He was in Footscray's recruiting zone. He was chased by the Bulldogs but ended up at Carlton. There you go. Mullet number 1. All right, ready? Let's go again. This is so much fun. 16. Patrick Cripps wore the 16 to start with, so I'll get it ready. Unless you've got a better... Well, Campriali. Jim Buckley. Ah, okay. Ah, that's very good. 12%. Jim Buckley. What do I need to know about Jim Buckley? Was Jim Buckley part of the Mosquito Fleet? No. Is that... No, I think I got that wrong. He's from Kyneton. Debuted in 1976, and he won the Robert Reynolds Trophy, the best and fairest, in 1982. Oh, he was part of the Mosquito Fleet. Okay, yeah. Played 164 games between 1976 and 1990. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't realize the accident that he had in a taxi. Shit. I didn't know that. I just read that. I don't know if I want to read that out. I mean, it's the truth. It happened. Yeah, I'm on Wikipedia. I did not know that there was an accident with taxi. Oh. It's pretty bad. I mean, he was acquitted. So, I mean, it's the truth. It happened on the 21st of June when he was 23. He collided with a taxi. One of the occupants was killed, a 42-year-old bookmaker's clerk. He was acquitted of all charges. Yeah, I did not know. He's talked about it on Dill's podcast. Okay. I did not know that happened. There you go. Number one. Well, Sauce, Walker, Andrew. Who else wore the one? Greg Wells. Oh, which one? Oh. Sorry, I didn't know which one. So I just, whew. You mean, oh, okay. Oh, Greg Wells, this one. There were two that popped up. So I didn't know. Not many number ones. Six. Simo. I don't really know who else wore the six. Who else wore the six? Dorotich. John Dorotich. Great. 5%. Who is John Dorotich? Sorry to be... I'm going to find out who John Dorotich was. I don't have any recollection. John Dorotich. Jonathan Michael Dorotich, born 27th of April 1962. Played for the Carlton Football Club and for South Fremantle and the Waffle, known as Doro. He moved to Carlton in 1986, where he played in the grand final in his first season against Hawthorn. In the following year's grand final, he played at full forward in the rematch with Hawthorn, where Carlton won the flag. He played in 132 games for the Blues before returning to WA, where he co-captained South Fremantle in their 1997 Waffle Premiership win. There you go. And he wore number 6. 35. Ed Curnow, Michael Sexton, Peter Dean. Maybe Peter Dean. Peter Dean, maybe. Rod Waddle? Peter Dean. Thought so. 24%. Waddle. Someone said Waddle. I was going to write that. Norm Cashin. I want to get one of these 0%. Billy Wilson. True. All right. Matty Lappin was 12. 46. That's Cottrell and Matty Wright. Oh, Ellard. Forgot about that. Do you know Matty Wright won our goal kicking in 2018 with like 22 goals? 42. Zach Tui, Adam Sard. Did Robert Walls wear 42 randomly? Walls? He did. Robert Walls. Yeah. 19%. Don't know why I knew that. And I'm pretty sure he coached us. He's born on the 21st of July. Represented Carlton and Fitzroy in the 60s and 70s in a career that spanned 3 decades, 259 games, 444 goals. Throughout the 80s and 90s, he continued to coach in the AFL, VFL for 347 games. Wow. His greatest achievement came in 87 when he coached the Carlton Football Club to the 87 Premiership, the same club he won premierships with as a player in 68, 70, and 72. So a 3-time Premiership player and a Premiership coach. Wow. He was also a grade 6 teacher at Park Orchards Primary School at the time that he was a head coach in Fitzroy. There you go. Went to Coburg High School, supported Essendon, ended up at Carlton because Brunswick at the time was part of Carlton's recruiting zone. Huh. Made his senior VFL debut as a tall, skinny 16-year-old on the 22nd of April against Hawthorn at Princess Park. He debuted at 16 years old. Gave a sign of things to come when he scored a goal with his first kick. He would go on to play in 3 premierships. Wow. He was man of the match in the 72 grand final. He kicked 6 against Richmond. The Norm Smith medal was not awarded until the 1979. He was not awarded the medal. There you go. 16 years old playing in the ones. All right. 41. That's Levi Casbolt. Who else wore 41? Who else wore 41? Rod? Peter Rode. Shit. Whew, sorry. I got a little bit lost there, and I just went with what I knew. Oh, I've spelt it wrong. Peter Rode. Rohde. Okay. Hey, okay. Let's keep going. $27. That's Dennis. 27. Pito. Who else wore 27? English. Luke O'Sullivan. Yeah, I don't know everyone by surnames. So English, I didn't know Des English. So just write out their full name if you can, please. Most of them I'll be able to pick up, but I didn't realize who Des English was. Who is Des English? Des English. Born on 22nd of January 1956. Played with Carlton. During the 80s, he was regarded as a tireless and absolutely reliable team player and defender. He played in the Carlton Premiership sides of 81 and 82. He was diagnosed with leukemia in 86 and never played again, although he eventually recovered. Wow. Carlton's emphatic return win against Hawthorn in the 1987 grand final played out in record-breaking September heat, was largely attributed inspirationally and motivationally by the Carlton players to the real-life battles of teammates English after his cancer diagnosis and Peter Motley after career-ending car accident. This moment in 1987 is notable for Peter Dean's words spoken on the day at the game's end. Mott's, Desi, you're fucking bloody beautiful. The episode is something of a legend in Carlton history, inspiring future generations in similar situations. What? Hang on. That's beautiful. There's a little bit of Sam Doherty that comes to mind. Wait, I want to see if there's footage of this. Peter Dean, 1987. On the day. 1987. Falling from the podium. Well, you guys must have been crying that day, right? If you were there. Mott's, Desi, you're fucking bloody beautiful. I want to see the footage. (1980) before I was born. It was heartbreaking. Wow. Julie, I remember where I was when I heard about Motley's accident. I cried then. What up, Pommy? Okay. I can't find the footage, but I'm going to move along. It's when he gets the medal, yeah. I don't know if it's at it's on YouTube. Cooper Gretsch. Is this the real Cooper Gretsch? It's not. See ya. Mate, you ain't ruining the vibes. I'm having a jolly good time at the moment. 24. That's Nick Stevens. Oh, Matthew Allen. True. Oh. Oh, Alan. 14%. Yeah. 17. Kemp. Sam Rowe. Alan. No. Nick Stevens. No. Okay, you guys are behind. Fuck. Damien Locke. No. Oh, Damien Locke. Sam Rowe, 10%. Wow. Viv Valentine, Bruce Reed. There's a lot of names here. All right. Well, it's been on for 3 hours. 49? I've got no clue. I need help. I have no clue of a single player that wore 49. Oh, please spell their name correct because I don't have any time. Like I don't have a backup. Please help. Brent Heaver? Ugh. I don't know. I didn't see your comments in time. Oh, Kukamelis. There's only 4. Well, they got us good. This is for Lucinda, by the way. We've ended on 17. There's only 4 players to wear the 49. Andrew Lucas, Darren Ogier, Spiro Korkamelis, and Philip Poursenidis. Is that... Yeah. What? Yeah. That's crazy, guys. We finished on 17. There's got to be something in that. There has to be. Yeah, I saw Josh. There's a delay between what I'm seeing and when the chat comes through. So sorry about that. But second week in a row, your microphone volume is very low. You can hardly hear me. Really? Okay. Lucinda, I'm glad you're still here. There's got to be something in that. There has to be something in that. That's all I'll say. Ridiculous. That was fun. That was really, really fun. And there's your team show. So that's that. Thanks, guys. I had a ball. Maybe I'll just quickly, one last time, just the teams. Brody Kemp, Mitch McGovern, and Pitto are back in for Sam Durden, Blake Acres, and Tom De Koning. For Port, Willem Drew plays his 100th game. Dylan Williams and Ollie Lord have been omitted. Kane Farrell and Lockie Jones are in. That's us. That is the team that will take on Port Adelaide tomorrow night, 7:40 at Marvel Stadium. That was an epic team show. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, we've got 6 more days left of our special offer at the BA shop. Any order from the BA shop gets one of these limited edition pins. That includes if you get a regular pin. So thank you very much for those of you who have put your orders in. And thank you very much to Mr. Cabinets for sponsoring the show. And that's us. A 3-hour team show. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks again for spending time here and spending your evening with me and with everyone else here. And yeah, we went on a bit of a journey tonight. Teams, footy, Charlie, Coleman's, Vossy, Presser. Then we got deep and spiritual. Then we had some fun. There we go. Alrighty. Fantasy team, maybe next week. See ya. Go Blues.